last we left off, you guys were in some different places. Ooh. Yes. Yes. Sorry. All right. Okay, sorry. Important stuff, I suppose. Anyway, last we left off, people were in various locations, but the majority of the party had found themselves on the first floor of. Oh, and by the way, I'm just going into the recap. So if anybody else wants to do that in the future, let me know. But anyway, you guys were on the first floor of the haunted mansion because you hadn't explored it completely, and you were trying to keep an eye out, basically get a higher vantage point to be able to see maybe the ship. You could see further down, kind of at the horizon, and possibly communicate with them, in the future, to figure out their code and such, which Jorlin had made some progress on. While you guys were up there and checking out some of the rooms, there were two things that came up. The first was you were exploring the rooms, and there were some mushrooms that were placed kind of in a strange circle around the fireplace. And I believe it was Nikor who saw what looked to be maybe a skiff or a rowboat, unclear, or possibly a bigger ship. It's very much unclear at that distance and location, coming closer to the shore, basically coming straight towards the house. So, Morgrath, I believe it's Morgrath, right? Nope. It was Caliban, different character.
But I have all my names changed too, so you have no excuse.
Well, yes. Was trying to remember off the top of my head. Did not work. Used an ability to try to sense the presence of any portals near that location, in case this circle of mushrooms is a phase circle, as well as the group decided to start heading back down to set up a ambush for the ship that was coming in. Believe it would be coming in probably close to high tide, if I remember correctly. So that is where we left off. The group has not yet gone down to the basement, but that was the plan.
I did want to ask why we want to ambush the pirates, because we're not in the best of shape right now.
That is, I suppose, a fair statement. But either way, you guys are currently on the first floor. What would you like to do? Caliban, you don't sense a portal at the fireplace here.
Oh, good.
However, what's the range on your thing that senses for portals?
Let me see here.
Look at the.
It looks like oh, just the closest one, within a mile.
Within a mile. That's what I need to know. 100. Great. Leagues. Useful. Not at all useful.
Is this how much they tell you distances and leagues?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Good stuff.
1 league, nautical league, is evidently
3.5
3.5 miles. Yep. So, with your current location, you are here. That is that. Let me see what I can do. That was loud. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. You, that's super close. Maybe? You know what? I'll give it to you. You sense one to the northeast, just at the edge of that mile.
Oh, alright. Well,
Just in one direction. Yeah. Make me a. Actually, what is your history modifier?
Just +2.
Yeah, it's probably high enough. It's not a negative. You realize that is in the direction of the dwarven silver mines.
Oh,
That makes sense.
planar portal near the Dwarven Silver Mines. Also noted.
Seems good. So, yeah. The party was waiting for Caliban to tell them whether it was a portal to the Feywild, so I'm going to assume that Caliban mentions that.
Yes, this is not, nowhere nearby, there's no portals. There might be one near the Dwarven Silver Mines. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's one near the Silver Mines.
Silver line, you say?
Joan is going to go over and eat about. He's going to try. He's going to try one of these mushrooms.
I wouldn't be touching them if I were you, laddie.
Okay, you're gonna eat one of these mushrooms.
I'm
That's
not
fine.
going to eat a full one. Maybe about 25%.
Okay. Make me a Constitution saving throw.
It's a controlled substance. You're under arrest.
That's right. God immediately arrests you.
18.
Okay. They taste pretty good, actually. This is a kind of flavor you haven't tried in a while. Or I guess what I should say is it's a unique flavor that would give it a bit of an almost acidic, almost like, or maybe even salted, kind of like, it reminds you of dill flavoring. Yeah, I mean, it's strong, but you think it'd be a good spice for something.
How many mushrooms are there?
They're all around the fireplace, so you could probably pick up we'll say a pound.
I'm going to pick up half a pound, leaving the rest of the mushrooms alone so they will propagate.
All right, seems good. Derlin starts picking mushrooms. As for the rest of you who have been informed by Nikor about the approaching ship, which, by the way, it sounds like Ellie's having some audio issues, so feel free to message me if there's any technical stuff that you need help with there, but she'll be typing mostly. Hopefully you can hear us. So that would be more difficult. But yeah, so Nikor has mentioned this other ship. You guys had talked about setting up an ambush, but Caliban, it sounds like, also has some concerns. So feel free to act as go, my people.
Jordan is picking. He's going to say, well, I imagine that at some point in time, the ship is going to try and signal whoever was here, and they're going to be looking for a signal back. I just don't know when that's going to happen. If I remember right, the little skiff was 2 hours out.
An hour.
Was that?
It was an hour out.
So we got 1 hour.
Ish. Yeah. Just out of curiosity, when like you first introduced me, I was on a rowboat delivering a cargo that I didn't know what it was to a destination, and I was looking for a signal from the shore. Do I recall what signal I was looking for? I personally don't, but
I didn't mention it, but feel free to make me an intelligence check. He hasn't said anything, but yes, Charles could say he was smuggling.
Yes.
He was delivering.
Yeah, it was a totally normal delivery.
Yeah, don't smugglers deliver? Aren't they in the delivery service?
Service. Yeah, the type of mailman. All right. Yeah, with a 16. Here's what I'll give you. With a 16, you know that you were waiting for a specific signal. There was a single signal that would have been the signal you were looking for. You also remember that there was something else that was necessary. It wasn't like a scent or anything, but there was some other piece to the signal that you don't remember. But like the other people were more experienced with this, and they would have. So basically, you were given some information in case they were doing something. The other people who were with you were doing something funky. But you do remember the actual signal that you were looking for, which would have been everything's safe. And that signal is a signal that I will look up in a moment.
Well, fellers, that on the sea, generally if somebody says, if you're looking for a safe harbor, then a long, short, long, or whatever it is that the GM's going to tell me, signal, generally means safe harbor for all us seafaring folk. So perhaps maybe if we go down to the cove and flash from that, flash stuff from the bullseye lantern, they'll think it's a safe harbor and come on in. It's just a standard seafaring thing. Nothing specific to smugglers or pirates or any such. I've used that very signal many times on my fishing boat.
Make me a deception check.
Lay to that.
Yeah. The code that you remember is short, long, and it means everything's safe.
Now the code that I got was long, short, long, long, short, long.
Yes.
Inside of this rowboat, there's about no more than 3 or 4 people, right?
You don't know how large the ship is that's coming in. It could be a skiff if they come in during high tide, which it would be getting to, especially considering the storm.
And a skiff would have how many people on it?
A skiff could have, if they were storing themselves like sardines, could have 6+.
Okay.
If it's just a rowboat, which would be a bit of a risky maneuver here, while the storm is brewing, then you're looking at no more than 4. 4 would be tight.
So, kind of addressing Caliban's question, there's a good probability that there's going to be between 4 and 6 pirates coming.
I mean, it could be less than 4, but
It could be, but they're probably on a skiff because due to the weather.
sure, yeah.
I
I'm
would
thinking,
just throw a boat in these waters.
yeah, it's too rough.
Well, God will say, if we want to make sure we have the upper hand on these little critters, I know they're tiny, but we can go ahead. We'll start a little bit of fire or one of those bullseye lanterns or whatnot, and I can take some of my bolts when they get close enough, and I'll shoot that wooden boat and have it burn out from under them.
You could, buddy, but then how are we going to get out to the big ship?
I'll shoot that too. My arm, my eye, it's all good.
No, we need to keep the boat intact.
Jordan
Without that boat,
says,
there's no way to go out to the big ship. Without the big ship, there's no way to return all this booty they've collected to their rightful owners for a bit, as you said, reward.
Ah, good point. God remembers.
And if we don't take the big ship to return this booty, then you never know what's going to happen to it. The pirates could come back as we leave to go to town to send out another boat. We can't haul it out. We need the ship in order to get this stuff back to its rightful owners. If we don't get the ship, there's no telling what will happen to all this booty down there and this mighty fine brandy. We don't want to see it go to waste.
Well,
If we leave and go to town, the pirates can move it over somewhere else, knowing that this base has been compromised, you see.
well, we
Time is
burn,
kind of of the essence for us to take that ship.
we
Can't haul
burn,
it out on our back.
we burn that big ship, and they can't come and take it again. They'll be floating as what's that term I've heard you use? Down with Davy Johnson,
Down the
Jones.
Jones locker with them it would be. But it'd be a mighty shame to lose such a fine ship as what they might have. If they required this much booty, it must be a fine ship.
Jordan speaks up. Listen, in this weather, with the rain coming down like it is, any type of fire is not going to really, I don't think it's going to be very effective. However,
Bless the gods for that.
and he waves a hand, and you see what looks like Sambalay appear. I can make
I
them.
thought I took you to the abyss, you foul bear.
Yes, exactly.
Sambalay looks at you blankly.
One might say.
Well, I can actually make them see Sambalay better than this, by the way. So I could draw them. In.
Because we don't want them to just get back into the boat and retreat to their ship.
Right.
Can you make them think that their ship is burning?
Then they'll just flee back to their ship. That's not what we want.
Theoretically, I could, but I don't think it would be very effective. I got a question. Had we finished with the first floor completely?
No.
You feel pretty confident that you've searched the first floor, at least mildly, yes.
Okay.
You haven't looked in, like, the fireplaces, for example, some of the rooms, and blah, 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 but
Yeah.
nothing obvious, and
Right.
everything seems mundane.
I have a question. Is there a spot on the I want to say upper floors because I'm quite correct. The level with the house on top of the ground, not underground. Where with a ranged weapon you'd be able to strike down on wherever they're landing.
So on the ground, floor/ground, you don't think you'd be able to strike where they are landing, if it was low tide, you might be able to literally lean over the side of the cliff and fire. But it's becoming high tide, and that seems it would be impossible at that point.
Okay.
We have an hour. What do you guys think about poking upstairs for a few minutes?
A lot could happen, not good. We're already damaged enough, and I'm hobbling around. I don't want to risk any other confrontations with whatever manners of beasties happen to be lurking around here when we're looking to take a ship.
All right.
Know what's up there than to be surprised with something coming down.
We should keep a weather eye on our backs to be sure.
If there's something up there that's going to attack us, if we go up there, then it's equally likely that it's going to come down here and attack us. In which case, I'd rather be the one starting the fight than being surprised.
God will say, I'll protect your backs. The law. And he'll flash his badge up there with his chest puffed out, rubbing his badge. And he'll say, the law. That's me. It protects all the righteous. And it puts down those smugglers and pirates. And he'll wink at Smitty.
Damn to the very depths of the abyss, smugglers. Unless, of course, they be willing to submit to the law and join our side and be faithful hands to the mast of that ship once I've made myself captain of it, to sail all this stuff back to the rightful owner. Or if you say there be profit in returning ill-gotten gains to their rightful owners, then it sounds like a noble goal, to be sure.
Yes, there's always profit in doing what's legal.
You're a bit quiet, Ryan.
But we may want to see if some of those hands on the ship would be willing to sail under a new captain, especially since I'm the one who did it well. I have the sword of the old captain.
Well, we give them good choice. You work for the law, or you hang for the law.
Nick or Arya? Well, Arya says, "What was your final opinion on going up or going down?" Nick or Caliban? Anybody?
Oh
I
God!
believe Nicor's tongue's tied. She's probably typing something in a chat somewhere.
That's yes, true.
This entire area, now that we know is occupied by hostile forces, is not my preferred battleground. I have also already used the magic I had available to extricate myself from dangerous situations.
I have enough magic left to have one minor encounter and one major encounter.
So, pretty much enough for the landing party and then taking the ship. Of course, we're not exactly sure how many sailors be left on that ship, nor how many would stand to fight us. But the Sambale was true, and so far he has not proven to be a man of dishonor.
By whose standard?
There'd be like roughly 8 to 9 sailors left. And if we have 4 to 5 coming here, and then 4 to 5 left on the ship, that may be fairly easy to take.
I hate to ruin Smithy's great math, but it's probably because you came from the ship side rather than this side of things. More like there are 7-ish more people working for Sambalay and maybe 20 on the ship.
So we can probably take the skiff, but taking the ship is maybe out of our reach.
Right now, probably. But I don't know if Smithy says that. That's yeah.
They would bow to the power of the law as soon as... And Goff flashes his chest and badge. They will submit.
Garland will wave his hand and he will make the Gauze badge nice and shiny.
Perfect.
Yes.
So shiny.
It's no longer tarnished.
Yes.
It's cleaned now, but
he's loving it.
Extra shiny.
He's loving it now.
Yeah. Ryan, have you fixed the audio problem? I'll take that as a no. Unfortunately.
Well, if they need to, then I don't know how it would work out. I got the Zoom meeting room open. As far as that, they may be.
Yeah. If we do currently have 2 people having issues, so if those issues persist, we'll say for another hour or something. Then
well, what I was going to I was
probably normally be able to break. Yeah.
But I was going to say I was
should be able to hear me.
Yep. Hear you good. But what I was saying is maybe if their audio comes through over onto the Zoom, we'll be able to hear it through. I'll have my speaker up here and be able to hear it that way through my mic.
Also, Z person, I don't see the image that you posted. I'm looking in general, and all I see is the holy symbol. So, maybe which general?
No, that was it. It was just the holy symbol.
Oh, you want to use the holy symbol? Okay, just making sure. I was like, yeah, okay, that's fine. I don't mind. So, I have not seen a message from Nikor about any planning here with the assassination, whatever it is that you guys are doing to these people in the skiff. Does Nikor have an opinion, or does she stand back? As it were. And I guess same question to Arya. I keep want to call it Arya because of Game of Thrones, but whatever.
It's not assassination.
What is... I think I may have missed what the situation is. In terms of you said something
Well,
about...
the situation is that the party is somewhat hurt. HP-wise, they're doing good, but resources have been burned a bit. The question is whether you want to set up an ambush for the skiff, especially since Smithy, at least, knows, though Smithy hasn't brought it up yet, that the ship itself has a lot more people. So assuming the skiff arrives and there's like 6 or 7, do you fight them and then, or do you, hide, avoid them? Do you keep searching the rest of the house? The original plan was ambush them and arrest them, right? But
I think that still is the plan. The only question is, do we want to go upstairs first?
there was some question from Caliban, which he probably doesn't remind people of, but I'm reminding you for players.
I'm so not going to ask again.
Right. That maybe we shouldn't do that because we're currently low on resources.
Okay.
So there's an open question first of, do we fight them? And then this is mostly for Ryan's sake here, and Ellie's too.
Alright, sure.
And two, do we search the house, then fight them because they're going to be here in a little bit? It's going to take some time.
Alright, yes.
Clarify my question. Why do we want to kill these pirates?
Right.
I believe the plan was to arrest them, but if somebody did kill them, then that's another point. Our point of view here, I think, we had a short rest, right?
You successfully got a short rest, correct.
Yeah. So she's all for searching the house and doing whatever. Like, she isn't short on resources at all. She's got all her key points because there's a short rest phase. And I don't think it necessarily occurs to her. I guess other people have mentioned that they don't have all of their magic and stuff.
Yeah.
She will volunteer to go and search the upstairs.
That doesn't answer the question about the ambush.
Okay, I think I can.
Oh, she really doesn't care about the ambush. She's going to go with whatever Gar says.
Okay. Answer.
That's her good daughter.
Anyway.
Alright, here's the plan. She's going to go with the opposite of whatever Gar says.
Everyone's a normal daughter. But,
Ultimately, capturing pirates one way or the other, the town would probably reward us. Plus, if we took the skiff and brought back their stolen goods, we would collect a salvage fee.
I don't think that we could transport all this stuff on board a skiff. I mean, maybe we can transport ourselves, and that'd be about it.
depends on the size of the skiff.
Arr.
Skiff's range, but I'm giving you.
Have to be
You're a
pretty
pirate. You would know.
No, pirate.
I mean, you're a sailor, a total person. It's funny because your background actually is sailor, not pirate. But anyway,
I didn't realize there was a pirate background at the time I made the character.
that's fair.
I didn't realize there was a smuggler background. I was like, oh, sailor, and then, the rest is flavor, right?
Sure. I like the fact that you aren't actually a pirate. I think that's a funny statement.
Just because I sound like one doesn't necessarily mean I am.
Right.
Don't be an accentist.
Right.
And by the way, I was
to
watching Treasure
message.
Island on Disney Plus, and I really think that the way people talk like a pirate is because of Long John Silver in that movie. It was 1950, and it
So-
was exactly like this.
As I said before, don't use the accent when you're talking out of character, because then it gets confusing.
Arr.
Unless Smithy actually has watched Disney Plus in our medieval fantasy world. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Look, and then I watched the movie.
Ellie, was there anything that Nikor wanted to add, or you can just message be like, she lets people talk, that's fine. But
I'm sure Ellie can hear us. She hasn't responded in Roll20 for quite a bit.
Is she maybe responding in the chat?
that's part of the reason. That's part of the reason why I'm asking her, is so I can see her message.
Oh, is she responding on chat?
Her mic isn't working, so
She's responding on DM messages. She's not responding anywhere I can see.
Oh, not even in the Discord chat?
yeah. Normally she would have been, but
So, as long as she is not, quote unquote, not here,
right.
she can watch the ship for a signal, okay?
Sounds good. Yep. I mean, yes. That's fine. So we got Ara's going with Gau's plan, and she's willing to explore the rest of the house. Jordan feels like maybe he can explore the rest of the house before doing the ambush. Smithy is pro ambush,
Opposed to exploring the rest of the house.
opposed to exploring the rest of the house, but pro ambush.
Oh, definitely pro ambush.
Is Gau pro ambush?
Guy was going to protect their rear because they were afraid that something might come up from behind when they were talking there, other than from the top.
Is that a pro ambush, pro explore the house, or
It's pro explore the house, pro ambush, and pro arrest the boogers.
right? Okay.
So you want to spend another 30 minutes looking up here and then walk down there and prepare an ambush?
Oh, I'm not
That
walking.
long.
Yeah, you're right. Right.
Remember, in combat rounds, they're very, very quick. So
Combat rounds are nothing.
as long as we stay a little focused, we can probably clear the upper floors in 10 minutes. as long as there's no fights.
Right.
And good to society, it'll probably be like 10.5 minutes.
Right.
Real time, yeah.
The
In
cop
real time, main issues, then the ambush might be called into question. But
I think we still got plenty of time. I mean, like I said, an hour's a long time.
Yeah. I'm worried about the resource management. I mean, granted, as a rogue, I have no resource management whatsoever. I can do everything all the time. And dude, the monk, stated I short rested. I'm cool, but the spellcasters are low, and I know Nikor's got to be low.
I can check on that.
So if we expend more upstairs looking for something, it would make our job of taking the pirates, which I would consider to be the main focus. I mean, I know somebody's looking for plants, and then somebody's looking to map out the house, and somebody else is looking for missing sailors.
And we still are looking for missing sailors.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Nikor doesn't have any spells.
Oh, did she reply? Or
She does not regain them on short rest, and she used all of them in the previous fight.
oh, okay.
She might have. She probably
got
should.
nothing to lose.
Oh, she also doesn't have short rest bardic inspiration yet, so she also is out of bardic inspirations, which means she's probably against ambushing them.
Even if she tapped on everything.
She's tapped on everything. Yeah.
Yeah, but if we were to leave, I'm assuming they would notice that their hideout's
I guess
been
she has hit
compromised and find a new place.
Well,
Right. There's still an argument here of what you like. What's the best course of action? But for her, a fight is a risky endeavor. So, like going up to explore the rest of the house, she's probably against. We'll say that.
Yeah, but at the same time, she's got nothing else to lose. Doesn't worry.
Has more. She cares more. Not only does she care about her life, but she has other things that she could lose. Also, she does not want to do that. She is not Smithy.
And
I'm just waiting for an eye patch and a hook hand.
No, a peg leg. You're right.
And Guy would.
Long John Silver did not have a peg leg. He had a crutch. He was missing a leg and walked around on a crutch in both the movie and book. I was very
And that makes
disappointed.
sense. Yeah.
And
By the way, you actually don't have a peg leg yet, actually, technically. So,
Guy would say, "I got all my magic," and he'll pose that Atlas pose, showing his shiny badge.
One of these days you're gonna lose that badge, and
I will
it'll be
cry.
the best day of my life.
Guy will cry. Don't take my badge. It's my life. His pride is on that. She's only catching parts, huh?
Oh, okay, that's what that is.
let's see. In for about 45 minutes.
He wants to ambush.
And Boozy.
Yes.
He likes getting to higher ground.
To know when to set the ambush. So both. She this yeah, all right. Yep. So she's for it. More almost as gutsy as Smith, possibly more so. All right. So I guess the crew of Be Safe and Don't Do Dangerous Things has been outvoted. So
pretty much unanimous against me.
now, yes, that's. I will say, Arthur, you can still play Caliban, but it's worth noting that it seems like the rest of the party is ready to start exploring this.
It's kind of a bummer because I obviously want to play D&D, but to do that I have to go. For everyone else is good. I guess you sit here and not do anything.
You don't have to go. Everyone else is going to play D&D. I say with a wicked grin. Feel free to go wherever you want. I have plans regardless. But That's why I reminded you. I was like, you still play your character. Like, technically, you've done most of what you needed to. You probably want to check out the second floor, but you don't need to do it thoroughly for the sake of your cartography. Other
group that the floor that is by these stairwells is weak.
Yeah.
So
Something off with about it.
I'm going to recommend that we use the stairs in the kitchen.
Those go down. You're referring to these ones.
Oh, okay, those ones.
But yes.
God will say,
Uh,
I'll be down here at the bottom of the steps here for you, and if one of you stumbles or something, my mighty strong arms will catch you.
okay. Were you talking about these stairs or the stairs in the kitchen, Gob?
The ones where you're talking about going on up, and you said that it looked like the floor or a few of the steps were weak.
The floor itself. That's why I suggested going into the kitchen.
Well,
and using these stairs.
If you go up this way and you fall through the floor, God will catch you.
It is at this point that the party being where they are, Caliban, I think there is that first. So Caliban sees one of the windows that looks like it might be on the second floor in height, but is kind of in this main hallway, so there's no like floor below it, if that makes sense. So it's one of the higher up windows. Open loudly and then slam shut, just like doesn't break or anything, but it is odd because none of the other windows do that.
Who did that? They're gonna give us away.
Did you just see that? This house be haunted by spirits, I swear.
Everybody,
the only person that saw that was Caliban.
everybody heard a window go, but only Caliban and possibly Ga, who maybe saw it at the last moment before it closed, because you're at that corner there, saw it.
It seems like we might have a lone straggler here in the house.
Yeah. So you guys, we will assume Nikor is, coming with to some extent. Probably keeping some distance. The rest of you feel free to move your tokens. As Jorlin moves over there, there doesn't seem to be anything obviously close to that window, or really any window over here yet.
Is there a front door here?
Yes, there's a front door right there. Right where you, sorry, yes. Where all your familiars are covered. And fireballs.
I'm going to open the front door and look out.
Roll a perception check.
Maintain.
That's pretty good. You see in the heavy rain what looks to be like an individual who is humanoid in shape, probably medium-sized, who has kind of kept some distance from the door. Let's see the range of certain spell. But the individual looks.
60 feet, or 30 feet, by the way.
You have dark vision 30 feet? Okay, good.
No. I have dark vision 60 feet, but I think the spell that you're looking at is 30 feet.
Okay, that might be true. Yeah. The person looks to be like a human who carries a spear and shield, just kind of waiting out there. You see what I've described.
Hey, there's someone out here.
Is there a part by the, like, on roll 20, like, I can't see past the front door? Is that where it cuts off?
Yeah, the rest of the map, there's no map further out. I can show you.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Do we all see this?
Yes, you all see it. Also, we can hear you. Yay. So one point of clarification. You all heard the window open and close. Jordan went out and opened the door. Considering the distance from that the rest of you are from that front door, you would probably notice something out there. But it's Jorlin who can tell. This is a, armored, shield up, spear held, humanoid, medium-sized person. And the rest of you might just see a figure in the dark, the rain and the very little light.
Okay.
Yeah, this guy's, he's got a spear, he's got a shield. Looks like a fighter.
Ask him what his purpose is.
Jorlin turns back and sees that nobody has gotten even within 30 feet of you.
Yeah, I know.
And Taliban actually moves back to the back corner.
We'll move up with Jordan. I just don't have access to Roll20 at the minute. Like, I can see it, but I'm on my iPad, and my iPad is notoriously bad at Roll20.
Okay, Aura and Isaac.
Okay. Yeah. So is Ara near Jorlin then? Is that right?
Yeah.
As well?
She'll go up and, like, she's aware that she's one of the few people at the minute that is effectively fully rested. She's got full hit points, full resources, so...
Joe's gonna say, "Hey, you need to identify yourself," and then he's gonna step back.
Yes.
I'll go ahead and step into the depth of healer.
Okay, sounds good. You are muted, by the way. Oh, no, you're not. Never mind. Continue. I will say... I have restrained eyebrows. The person says, "I'm Knob. Who are you?"
That sounds great for you. Do you have a name?
Oh,
He said his name was Knob.
is it Keegan or Knob?
He would introduce him as Keegan. He's called Knob by his friends.
Okay, he says, "I'm Keegan. Who are you?"
I'm
That's
Ara.
perfect.
What are you doing here?
I was sent by... what's his name? Prime Water to check out a party of individuals who had not returned. Was that Jorlin?
Yeah.
You heard. You think you recognize that voice? Actually, you would have seen him. So yes, definitely Jorlin.
Do I know Knob? Is he from town?
You don't know Knob. You know Keegan. He isn't somebody you know well. He would be like a friend of a friend of a friend. But he's like a dock. He's a person who kind of like keeps an eye on the docks in the evening.
Is Is that you, Keegan?
Who was that?
Mr.
That was Jorling.
Yes, this is Keegan.
Well, come
and
in.
you'd see his eyes kind of glow purple through like the rain.
Come in here. Get out of the rain.
Are you sure that's wise, just be inviting any man that you don't really know well into this establishment when we're already sieged by pirates and God knows what other spirits may be involved here?
Have him.
Keegan will put his stuff away, and while he's walking towards the door, he's fine. He doesn't have any inhibition. There's people he knows here, so he's fine.
Present yourself to the law. And God
behind us.
Yes. God throws his chest and badge up.
And Nikor, for the first time ever, uses her cantrip to make the badge like extra shiny, almost blinding when he like shines it.
Now it's so shiny. It like it hurts your eyes. You have these sensitive eyes, and you're like, the badge. It's so great.
But the smile on God's face is priceless.
That's right.
That sounds familiar, but I don't know.
Well, actually, I know Keegan. He normally watches the docks, and you heard him yourself. The Prime Water sent him, and maybe we could actually use an extra hand.
We could definitely use an extra hand.
Are you handy with that spear,
which
buddy?
is nice.
Are you guys the group of people that I was supposed to help, or is there?
Yes, we are, God says. And what are you doing with that harpoon? You looking for a big fish?
Fish are good to eat.
Yeah.
No, I'm just here on business, and I'm just coming to gather information.
Where's the rest of your team?
No, there's no team, just me. He seems very sure of himself.
He is the Goon Squad.
I am. I am the brute squad. I should have made Keegan level 10. That would have been hilarious. Anyway, ignore me. I didn't do that.
So, have you guys found anything in this house?
Trying to face off. We got some smugglers ring that we discovered.
Oh, smugglers.
Oh, lots of booty that they took and hid down below.
Below?
Yeah, there's a cabin underneath this house.
There's a cabin.
Also numbers of different creatures of unusual size.
Yeah.
Well, if you have gone through here, why are you still here?
Well, no, we haven't finished the upper floor, and then we were going to set a snare for these smugglers that are coming in.
Yeah, we're gonna arrest the criminals, the pirates, the smugglers, and bring them to justice or have them work for us. Give them a choice. Swing by the gallows or work for the law.
More coming? How do you know this?
Because we could see there's a skiff coming out the window.
We're assuming if we're not really sure what boat it is, but it makes the most sense.
Keegan will go out back and see if he can seize the...
Hey, Keegan, come over here.
Yeah. So you go. So they bring you over to one of the windows that would lead out. You note that there's a yard that would take you much closer to your thing of interest. But from here, feel free to roll a perception check.
He would probably go closer.
Okay. So Keegan sees the backyard, heads out that way. It's not like a maze to get there. And kind of gets much more like this on the map. It's actually a bit further, but you get the idea.
Mm-hmm.
And roll a perception check. So,
how far is it?
How far is it to what?
I guess. Is it within my vision? 300.
So you are referring to the skiff.
Yeah.
What they think is a skiff. Okay.
Yeah.
You think it is it might be within your 300-foot range. It's very hard to see right now without it, by the way. So lost somebody. I'm sure that was not going good.
It's hard to see through the rain.
It is hard to see through the rain. But considering your job, I will just call it flat. There's no disadvantage here, and your dark vision is really good. You can tell that's not a skiff. And you can also tell it's made some notable headway closer to the house. They mentioned it was close. You didn't realize they meant that close.
Right.
But it's not a skiff, it is a rowboat. And there are two big-looking guys rowing it. And they look like they're rowing like their life depends on it.
Keegan will he'll take out his spear again, and he'll walk in and say, there's just two men on a rowboat. I see no skiff. How are you planning on ambushing them?
How close are they? Because we thought we had an hour.
What time is it? Or what do I know?
They look like they're about 300 feet out.
That's not very much time at all.
They're
That's
just
not very much time at all. Correct.
Okay, guys. I guess we need to change our plans and go down to the caverns.
What's the distance from? What is the distance from the cliff to the water with it being high tide?
That is an interesting question. I would give it 80 feet. I think I answered this question before, but we'll say 100. We'll flat 100 just in case.
That's what, 10d6 fall damage?
Yeah, if you're falling onto the flat ground without any modifiers or purposely falling off or
Jordan's going to
I
head
can get down there real fast.
you can, yes.
Like, if we want somebody there to meet them, I can get down there before they can.
Well, we can all get down there before they can. We just need to go. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. So
Jorlin
heads to the second level. Does anybody not follow Jorlin down?
Keegan will immediately follow Jorlin down. As soon as he knows where to go, he'll go.
Our double step, you scabbers dogs. We must meet them quickly.
Okay.
I kind of want to jump off the cliff, but okay, I'll follow Jordan.
I was like,
There's only two guys. I'll be going down as well, but I'll make sure I stay in the back so I can keep an eye out behind us to see in case there's an ambush.
Yeah, Keegan definitely showed up later, so there's something weird going on.
Since there's only two guys, they should be able to deal with it no problem, so I'll make sure we don't get an ambush from the back.
It sounds like Gaw has the same plan, so you're kind of jostling for back of the line. Okay. You guys. So first of all, you guys get down to this floor, which, if I remember correctly, Z person, the player, You were there for part of the session, right?
Yeah, I was watching.
Okay, so as you come down, you see what looks to be about. It's hard to tell exactly because they've been kind of moved off to one side, kind of into a back corner. But it looks like a pile, maybe 6 people, like corpses, like dead people, dead humanoid people.
I see dead people.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan. Who are those?
Well, those were the smugglers that were here when we got here.
Who sent you guys? Did
Prime Water.
Prime Water sent you as well?
Yeah.
We will discuss this later then.
The law sent me, God will say.
Not
Well,
wrong.
Prime Water sent him as well.
And he is an advisor of the town, so for God to say the law sent me is actually not incorrect. Not completely, at least. It's a little like highfalutin for Prime Water, but sure.
It's a little twisted.
Yeah, so okay, so you say we'll talk about that later, and so the rest of you continue on your way down to the caves. Now, if I'm not mistaken, sorry, I'm just gonna move all of you. Sorry. Oh, why is that? Oh, that's because of that. These caves are all lit, and you guys have avoided this passage, so I'm assuming none of you go there.
Well, we went through that passage, but we...
Nope. Room. You've gone down to here, and I'm assuming no one has goes through this room.
Keegan definitely not there.
Yeah, Keegan might move over there, but I'm there. Yeah, they're currently. I'm assuming people are following Jorlin, who's heading towards the ambush.
Yeah, Keegan will just be following Jorlin.
As you guys pass the room with stuff, well, there's actually kind of rooms, but the load off space and the other room. First of all, the high water has risen to some extent. It hasn't quite reached its top part, but because of the storm, it's definitely splashing up to that point. And the other room is full of stuff, stuff to be traded or sold or whatever. It is worth noting, for the sake of Keegan, yes, it has rum and silk and stuff, but for the sake of Keegan, this would be really suspicious, because there are tolls that people normally have to pay for certain items that are on the docks that you are aware of as the dock watcher, right? So people having stuff here in this cave isn't technically bringing them into town, which would be illegal if they didn't, pay taxes on it. Mm-hmm. But it's close, right? It's very close to town, and if they started selling things in town and did it in a way that people wouldn't know that, right, then it would have some problems, but not illegal yet.
Positioned in such a way that with a good lawyer, it's entirely fine.
Right, correct. But you'd be aware that it's suspicious because of your job. It basically makes your job moot, is the way to think of it.
Yeah.
That said, the group brings you down, and so you see the caves and otherwise, and there doesn't seem to be any people dead here. Everybody is alive in these caves.
No, we've already eaten them.
Seems good. Yes. Yes, exactly. Yep. You go into the water. Seems good.
What, Ari is actually going into the water?
Yep. And I would recommend everybody...
And doesn't come up.
Yeah, I would recommend everybody place your tokens in this map at this point.
Jordan,
It's
Jordan
important
would like to
reasons.
suggest this is a plan real quick. If the group kind of goes around this corner, Jorlin can make an image of a sound belay. He's going to try and lure the. Once they're in the large room, they will be easy to contain.
There's two guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
The problem with that is that R is already in the water.
Yeah, but she's in the water. They can't see her.
Oh, she's like under the water?
Yeah.
Yes, she actually dives under the water and doesn't come up.
What if she,
You don't know what she is. She's some sort of strange blue humanoid creature.
She's my daughter. Don't pick on her.
In the same way, Nikor is some sort of strange, slightly purple-skinned, horned humanoid creature. But you actually might recognize another one of those that calls themselves a tiefling, and they're a merchant in town. Or you have no context.
Come on, get where I want you.
A hornless tiefling? Hornless tiefling. There you go.
It's probably fairly obvious that nobody else in the party seems concerned about our having not come back up, so, like, she runs in, dives into the water, and nobody even blinks an eye because she's done this before.
what are the things like he can, what are these,
Oh, that's more supplies. So there's like a drier area. It looks like it maybe is a little higher up than some of the other ones over here that Smithy and Jorman has been talking about. This is mostly the same stuff: silks and casks of ale.
is those are enough to hide behind? Like, for complete cover?
Good. That is does not go to the roof and is not particularly tall. You would have to do something like lie down, and considering your armor, that would be very difficult.
No, I was thinking like if there was crouching room.
There's room to crouch. I don't think these things are tall enough, at least where they're currently placed, to block somebody who crouches behind. They would have to be like a small creature to be able to do that. A god can do it, probably.
Okay.
Yes!
Alright, could I stack two barrels on top of each other and hide behind them?
You can arrange things if you want to. Yeah.
Alright, I'd like to do that.
You do so.
And have my bow drawn and my rapier, my brand new rapier, stuck into the ground. Is it soft sandy ground? Is it hard rock?
It's mostly hard rock. As it starts getting close to where the tide comes in, it becomes a little sandy, a little salty. But it's not a beachhead. It's mostly rock with some extra stuff.
Never mind. I'll have my bow drawn with an arrow ready, and my rapier will. Tombolay's rapier will be at my side. I'll drop my bow and draw my rapier if need be.
So is Keegan hiding there with Smithy then?
Yeah, if Keegan thinks that they can walk past him without noticing him, then he'll stay there. Otherwise, he'll leave.
Oh, and I'll take the hide.
Nikor, if I want to draw them in, you can't stand there.
Yeah, so
I do want the bullseye lantern, though, please.
she'll give you the bullseye lantern.
Yes, please.
Done. What does Nikor do?
Is there an area where can Nikor stand? I'm trying not to block them.
Maybe right there. Just out of sight.
Can Nikor stand out of sight and hold Bane? And if she sees them attack, she's gonna cast that against 3 of them.
You can hold the action. That location is not out of sight.
Well,
You have no cover there.
not completely out of sight, but she's right because they're gonna come all the way over here.
The idea, Jorland's plan, which you may or may not follow to your heart's content, is to lure them into this room. So anything from here to there is some risk of them noticing and using you guys in addition to this illusion. So, to you.
Okay, I'm gonna stay back here.
Okay, that's fine.
If we get them into that room and they attack, I'm casting it.
Okay,
If she at any point.
sounds good. is hiding underwater. Jorlin is currently being the lure, as it were. God and Caliban are watching the back. Is that where they want to be?
God just kind of. I was trying to position them there, but the map and the token being a little funny. I didn't want to be that far back. I wanted to be up, kind of halfway between there. Not just so I could see around the corner, so I know when they go into the room, I could collapse down and help close off their exit.
Sounds good. Arthur, is that where Caliban is?
Yeah, I think that's fine because that way I can see the stairs over there, and then if there's another secret entrance that I haven't discovered, I can see the bottom passageway as well from there.
Solid plan. Jorlin, you ready this silent image, and do you cast it right now? Is that what that roll thing is, or something else?
I'm going to cast it. Now, I know that I only have 10 minutes.
Yep.
So maybe when they are 1 to 2 minutes away from beaching.
Well, 300 feet isn't that long.
Roll a perception check.
Caliban, he is ready to run to the rest of the party. The last time he tried to hold somebody else wanted to, and he got beat up pretty bad.
Fair enough.
I'd just like to point out to everybody that we didn't give the all clear safe harbor signal. Just FYI.
Yep. Roll a stealth check for Keegan and Smithy. Nope, you were here.
1 minute, sir.
Can I roll a stealth check for Eric?
Yes, you have advantage.
Oh, sweet.
They're not going to notice either.
You're not the one coming right up Isaac.
You got it, bud. I'm glad I could help.
Alright, no, 23 for
Okay. Drillin. Okay, that seems appropriate. You look around the corner to be like, okay, I'm going to cast this when they're within a few minutes away. And the boat goes onto the shore. Right in there. It's right there. Roll me initiative, actually, to see if you can even have a chance to stealth before they notice you. And I will have everybody roll initiative.
They're busy landing the boat.
They are busy landing the boat, and you rolled great initiative. I love it.
All right, let's see here.
Wow, they did great though. Holy crap.
During the preparation, since he knew he was going into combat, he has a thing that gives you advantage on initiative rolls.
Is that a spell that he cast?
It's an ability for a range.
Okay, sure. Yep, that's fine. I mostly contest the fact that you don't know you're going to fight right now, because Jorlin was like, okay, I'm going to see when they're ready and set this up, and they're already here. But if the spell is like, I have advantage, then take it.
It's advantage on initiative roll.
Yeah, take it.
If it's the Twilight Pirate thing, I think it just lasts until you roll on a so you can just effectively use it as soon as you wake up.
Yeah.
And then...
God. Wow, they look so good, and they're still going to go, like, middle of the pack.
I don't want to roll initiative on this, but just click initiative.
So, yeah, feel free to just click initiative. If you click on your token first and then hit initiative, it will put your token into the tracker as well.
Okay. So.
Oh, okay. I did it backwards, so.
Okay.
Did I do it?
Just like, sure.
Yeah. Yes. I am just like, sure, fine.
Caliban is actually ready this time.
I rolled it twice, but I got a 15 the first time. 11.
Yeah, well, it's a 1 the second time, but you're taking it. Oh, you have advantage. That's why you rolled it twice. Yeah.
So I'll just put that to 15.
Yeah, you can modify it, but I can also modify it, so I already have.
I guess...
what is Paul's initiative? Because time?
So, using the roll 20 thing, it would be 23.18.
Yes, correct.
John was at 22.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Let me put you into the tracker. You were trying to put some people. You have a 14. Or no, you don't have a 14. You have a yes. You have a 14. So. Wow. This is what I'm like. Wow, you guys were so ready.
Rolls.
You were like, all right, adrenaline, go.
This has to be the first time I've ever seen a party set up an ambush and then roll the initiative to back it up.
Yep, pretty much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Is that another roll of 15?
Yes. And that was the person with advantage.
Yep. Yeah, but he only has he doesn't have dex modifier, so.
Right. And God got a 16.
Yep.
You're getting slow in your old age there, Father.
3. Do you have a whatever? I'll just assume you have a 16. It's not a big deal.
What?
Your dexterity score.
Yes, it's 16.
Okay. Yes. Don't have anything for those. Nope, I do not. Okay. Well, I had something, and now I have to find new hobgoblins. How unfortunate.
And that's the price of having an alert feat. It's going to help the party.
Yeah.
Does John have the alert feat?
Yes.
You also rolled a 16.
Huh. The initiative is somewhat disappointing given that you have, what, a +8 to your initiative?
Yes.
Agreed.
This is why I don't build characters with initiative anymore. I did it like 3 or 4 times and I always ended up going last with a +10 modifier.
Yep.
I'm so mad.
It really irritates me.
Yep. Let me just find a token to represent them. No, I don't like that. We'll use this one. That's fine. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, they're cool. Sure, yeah, they'll be cool. Why not? Oh, this will work fine. That's funny. Ah!
Yeah.
Suddenly, Titan shows up and crushes you all.
My arrow stays under the water and doesn't ever come out.
Titan falls and everyone dies. Does Titan have initiative?
I mean, it's the good thing. Instead of rocks fall, everybody dies. It's Titanfall, everybody dies.
The new thing, yeah.
Much more impressive, to be fair.
Yeah, it's more cool. More cool, more impressive. And there's, I'll find a boat token in a moment too.
Much less embarrassing from a hero's point of view.
Yeah.
I was killed by a Titan.
By a Titan.
Better than being killed by falling rocks. Right.
Right. Yeah. There's the boat. It's not that small. Bitty 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 boat. Itty bitty boat. It might be that big. It might be a little longer. There you go. That should be no. Okay. So they row in, and they're rowing in like, they're landing here. Yeah, Madman. That to the back, please. Thank you. Also that to the back, please. Thank you. Row your boat. And I put them into initiative for reasons. Even though they rolled well, they're still left behind everybody else. Okay. Ready. Alright, if the first to act, they are rowing this boat right over your head, basically.
Yep. I'm gonna hold an action to take the dash action. And effectively, once they move out of this cavern, I'm gonna follow them as stealthily as possible.
Sounds good. Smitty.
Where's damn, and I thought I rolled good.
You are fifth in initiative with a 22.
That's
Let's do it, Michael.
the
You can read it, but there you go.
From my vantage point, I can't quite see whoever came aboard the boat.
You can't quite see whoever came ashore on the boat, but you do hear them. And Jordan was like looking around the corner and is like backing up real fast.
They're backing up.
Jordan went around the corner and started backing up, like backpedaling, backing up. As fast as they can.
Okay, maybe I'm confused. Do I hear them like backing up, or do I hear them?
Jordan is backing up, and you can see him.
Okay.
You hear them.
Ready in action to fire a shot at whoever I see that I don't recognize. As soon as they come around that corner to where there's a bend in the area where I'm hidden. 15. I'm assuming I'm hidden somewhat decently. So yeah, I'm just gonna wait until I see somebody I don't recognize and ready in action to fire a shot at whoever I see I don't recognize.
You ready this action, and you turn to the left, and you see Keegan, this new guy, hiding behind these barrels like you, with about his 50% of his body too far left, like with no cover.
I shake my head and just believe that I don't care about this man yet.
Okay.
So I'll just let him think he's hidden.
Alright, you good.
Ready in action, myself. That's it.
You ready the action. Caliban, it is your
Need to
turn.
hide if they come in and they see somebody, that way they won't search to look around. They'll be like, oh, there's that guy. They won't look for me behind a barrel. Oh, more likely for me to be hidden.
Okay. Caliban, it is your turn.
I shall simply remain on alert and then I'm action to dash if I see enemies.
Okay. Nikor, your turn.
Okay, so I'm guessing hearing this, but I'm not seeing this?
Yeah, we'll say that, the chambers are relatively narrow getting to where you're at, so it kind of echoes this kind of, as the boat starts getting dragged up onto the shore. Or it starts, reaching the shore, where the water is.
Okay. So I will stay where I'm at, but I'm holding it. If I hear the force, my allies getting attacked, I want to cast Bane on anything I can see.
Okay, sounds good. Allies attack, Bane enemies on site or here. Got it. Jorlin, you are backpedaling.
Jorlin's going to take a 5-foot step back.
Yep.
For one thing, it blocks line of sight between me and them.
Currently, yes.
The second thing he's going to do is he's going to cast Silent Image.
Okay.
Silent Image, I think it's 15-foot cube.
Yep.
So ultimately, I'm going to make an image of Sambalay, essentially on top of myself. I'm not going to be there, but Sambalay is going to be there. You following me?
Yep. I'm following you.
I'm going to hold the bullseye lantern up with my right hand. I'm going to come over here. I want them have the bullseye lantern be lit.
How are you going to hide it?
Well, screw it. I'm going to essentially take the silent image and wave the hand like come on in.
Okay. So the silent image does not have a bullseye lantern on it.
Well, no, I have a bullseye lantern.
You have a bullseye lantern unlit.
Right.
So you create a silent image of Sunblot waving a hand in over your own form, which includes the bullseye lantern.
Well, he can hold the bullseye lantern in one of his hands.
Okay, so it's the bullseye lantern is in his offhand, unlit, whatever.
Right.
Cool. Got it. You have to hold it up a little bit just to get the height right, but sure.
Right.
Cool.
That's why I said hold it up.
Yep. Perfect.
Do I notice them? Have they spotted me yet?
As you move there, as Sanvalat, as it were, let me check something real quick. They spot you, quote unquote. They have seen Sanvalat with the lantern in hand, and are going to speak to him. It's up to you if you. So, as a point of clarification, free actions. Talking is a free action on your own turn. But if you talk to somebody, you're giving them the right to talk back to you, basically. So right now, if you wish to speak to them, they will talk back to you. But at this moment, they look like they are going to say something to you. They're like a little surprised to see you, and looks like they're about to say something.
So ultimately, the reason why I did this essentially on my turn, I'm going to put down the bullseye lantern, and of course the image of Sambalai is going to put down the bullseye lantern.
Right.
He's going to wave them on, and he's going to move here.
Okay.
So he walks back around the corner.
As do you, since it is around you.
Correct.
Got it. Cool. Well played. It is now Agrash's turn, just to... Did I skip somebody? No, I didn't. Okay.
Agrash's here, you did. I said,
You lose. No. I need to see. Oh, I checked that. Just the vote is fine. Okay, so I'm just gonna map layer. Really? What? That's not the right vote. Ignore it. Hold on. Do back. They continue their movement with the boat rowing, and they basically, like, you see them. Aura sees them, and maybe Smithy and Keegan as well, sees them kind of, they're like, it looks like they're booking it, and as soon as they see Sambalat, they slow down to a reasonable pace so they don't ram the ship into the wall. There's no risk, so there's no risk of that. Now, I have a question. I was going to ask this question before, but that's the issue. You know what? You guys will set this up. It's fine. Actually, this is. Here's what I'm going to say. Phil.
Yes.
Jorlin set an alarm spell here before.
It was in my head. It was not a audible alarm.
Yes. That's fine. Okay. That makes total sense anyway. So I think you can't drop it though.
I probably could have, but it doesn't matter one way or the other.
Doesn't matter. Okay. Yeah. So they take both of their actions to row in, land the ship, carefully drag it onto the beach, and that's all they do. One of them says, however, as a free action, as they're drying out, they say, we looked everywhere, Sambalay, in common, by the way. Actually, yeah, it would be in common. We looked everywhere, Sambalay. The sailors aren't here. If they've sunk. Their ship is gone. We haven't been able to find anything, the merchandise or anything else.
I wonder who he was looking for.
Okay,
and
then I think to myself.
Yeah, and then one of them says, "Who is that?" And this is the other one, by the way. And they're looking right where Keegan is. Show yourself. And that is their turn. Gaw, it is your turn. Because that tunnel's echo, everybody heard that, by the way.
Just FYI, I see them. Smithy does see them.
Yes.
And I don't recognize them.
Well, this was a question I was going to ask, but
Yeah.
I don't think it mattered because you do recognize them.
Oh, I do.
Mm-hmm.
Smuggler.
Yep. Well, you've seen them on the.
whisper it
You've
to
seen,
me, or
you have no. It was actually very easy to do. These hobgoblins have worked at the docks before.
Oh.
There's not a lot of hobgoblins who work on the docks, but they're good workers when they work. And they work a lot actually. They're into it, I guess. They like showing off and stuff like that. So you do recognize them.
they are.
That means you can choose to shoot them or not in this case, because if your trigger doesn't happen, you can choose to just activate it whenever, basically.
I do recognize them. They are good seamen, right?
I mean, they work hard. Of anything, they don't speak great common. Too, it's
common.
Broken, really. But it's good enough, right? And they do work hard. Yeah.
I do want to make a comment because we played every other week. Some of the other smugglers that we've already killed also worked at the docks.
Yep.
Some of the party.
This is the reason why. This is the reason why I didn't bring it up at the time that you set the trigger, because I knew that I wanted to give you the option to shoot these people or not. And if I had mentioned it at the time, you would have maybe changed it and been like, "Oh, I'll just shoot them if they're not part of our party," and then you would have got them right now.
But I recognize them.
You recognize them, so it's up to you if you want to shoot the people that you worked with before. What were you saying, Arthur?
I do not.
Only some of the people are aware of the that some of the pirates quotation marks going to wait and see.
I believe that's true.
Also work on the docks because only certain people recognize them. Like I know that for my character, I don't know this information.
Right. That is true. That is fair. That is a fair statement. Smithy has been a little tight-lipped about that stuff. A little. Not a lot.
Can't imagine why.
He does talk about a lot of things. I honestly, it's a 50-50 flip if he actually says something. But that makes it Gar's turn. Gar's hiding. Is that what your stealth is for?
Yeah, that he's right, and with his light crossbow, he's readying his action, and as a bonus action, he's going to hide.
What is the trigger?
The trigger is once they enter the cavern that Nicor is in. When he sees them go in, not just in, but goes on in, we'll say, about 10 feet, then what he'll do is he'll out and do his spiel about the law.
Okay. He has a weapon. He's not actually shooting it. The trigger, the action to be triggered is talking.
Yes.
Love it. Keegan, it is your turn.
Do I recognize them?
Yes. Yep, definitely.
Then I would. And Jordan's right there in front of him, right? But hasn't said anything to them.
You don't see Jorlin, you see Sambalat, but you also saw Jorlin turn into Sambalat. And I should say, you probably don't know who Sambalat is.
He doesn't know who Sambalat is.
You don't know who Sambalat is, but he turns into somebody else.
Right. So I do recognize them.
Yep.
Honestly, he would probably just step out and look at them, and they'd probably just see his eyes.
Okay. So you step out and look at them. You have not spoken to them, so they do not say anything at this moment. But they definitely want to say something about that. They're about to say something. Is there anything else you would like to do or say?
Yeah, hang on one second. Yeah, he's gonna ask him, did Prime Water sent you to look for the sailors as well?
They would say, they would kind of blink and say, yeah. And they kind of look at Tom Balad like he didn't tell you, but they don't say anything else.
Would you be able to continue speaking? I was saying one more thing. Well, I believe their goods are over there. He's gonna point down the hallway.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, they say, no, they were bringing some goods in. Those are from before. Anything else you'd like to say?
No, I don't think he has anything else to say. He's just gonna stand there, kind of at the ready, but not like aggressive.
Why don't we say that your action is one of the social actions, because
that's fine.
Which action would you like to take there? Intimidation, to look intimidating, full saying this?
Yeah, that's fine.
Something else,
just like
to pretend that nothing's up?
Yeah, kind of relaxed, but still like a little on guard, kind of like how they probably are.
Yes, that's probably a fair assumption. Intimidation then? Roll it.
That's bad, because I have bad charisma. Very bad charisma.
Okay.
Roll that beautiful being
actually.
footage.
For circumstantial reasons, the other game. Okay. You get a sense that like you maybe talk to them one too many times as like a friend, that they're not really that intimidated by you. You're too friendly to them for you to be that intimidating. They just kind of, all of them just kind of smirks like, what are you trying to do?
It's kind of like his flaws, he's quick to trust, so he knows them, so he's kind of trusting of them at the moment.
Sounds good to me. Take an
enemies.
Alright.
So he's just kind of relaxed, but he still have his sword and shield in hand, but not like wielding it, you know?
Okay. Never mind. Alright, it is your turn. Your trigger has not happened yet, obviously.
They haven't left the kind of initial cave.
Correct. They had to pull the boat, like they had to row the boat up, pull it up onto the shore more carefully than they might have done before, and get off and talk. So, yeah.
Kind of poking your eyes just above the surface is what I'm probably in the surf where the waves are breaking. Do they appear to be carrying weapons?
Yes.
What weapons are they carrying?
Nothing's drawn yet, but they are carrying shields, longbows, long swords, a small quiver of arrows, and are wearing chainmail. Actually, it's not chainmail. It's
Did they have their shields equipped?
Do they have their shields what?
Equipped. Like, is it on their own? Or are they just over the back?
That's an interesting question.
If they were just rowing, right? They'd probably.
Well, yes, except they're definitely not wielding them in the classic sense.
Okay.
They actually do have them equipped.
Oh, they do?
Like, they're strapped to their arms, yes.
Oh.
Their weapons are not strapped to their hips. Those are just in their hands. Like, they don't have the blade out or anything. They're just holding it by the sheath. But the shield they actually do have on their hands.
Okay.
Ari's just gonna kind of hide again.
Okay.
I'm ready to. I guess I can't do it. Can I continue hiding? Or do I have to make a new spell?
You can continue hiding. you
Okay,
use your
in which
action
case
to
I'll-
continue hiding, then you can do this.
Say that again.
If you use your action to continue hiding, then you can do so.
Right, that's kind of what I'm asking is, if I haven't broken stealth, do I need to use my action to make a new stealth check?
If you have broken stealth, then you do not need to use your action to regain your stealth check.
Great, in which case I will hold my action.
In the way you did before?
Yeah.
Okay. Smithy, your turn. That's you, Michael, by the way. You might be
I
muted.
have a kind of a rules question in there.
Mm-hmm.
If normally you can always choose not to land a killing stroke, but to put in a incapacitating, just knock somebody out and supposed to kill them, right?
Yep.
Can you do that with sneak attack add-on?
Yes. So the rule that I have is if you drop somebody to 0, you can choose whether to kill them or knock them unconscious. But if you don't want to accidentally kill them with something like massive damage, which might happen if you add sneak attack, or is more likely to, I should say, then you need to take disadvantage on the attack roll.
Nah, I'm okay with the massive damage.
Okay. Like maybe they have 1 HP. How would you know?
And
they just been rolling.
I don't. I want to run that risk.
And in general, we have non-lethal damage section in the UAG player's guide. It may not be applicable for this, but just overall.
That's good to know. I will double check that for future gameplay because I do want to use UAG stuff in general. But for now, that's what we're running it as.
It was just a good opportunity to push that.
Yep, I will check it. What is your choice, Smithy?
Would I have advantage on an arrow shot since I was hidden? Or I believe I was hidden?
You're not an assassin, so maybe.
He is hidden, and yes, he gets advantage.
That's an attacking from when you
He gets advantage if there's a reason for his attack to have advantage. Being hidden is usually a good reason, but it's not always the case.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. I mean, it's
That's
generally
just
yes. Just that.
Yeah.
I will take an arrow shot at some other. I don't know, whichever one's closer to the boat.
Okay, that's this one. Go for it. I do like. Yeah, well, I do like the fact that you didn't use your trigger action. You know what? I will shoot them.
Yeah, I know.
I guess you did get a chance to talk to them. You gave them their moment to talk.
I was like, you know what? Nah.
Smithy throwing wrenches into plans since 2020. Anyway. 17. Shield not active, so you fire, and it goes. Luckily, you don't fire through the illusion of Sambala. You fire around that, but the other hobgoblin, who's kind of standing there looking at Keegan, kind of moves. Just maybe it's to grab some part of the boat or something else, and it bounces off the shield because you were aiming for a hole in the other hobgoblin's armor. You miss with a 17. And when that happens, that hobgoblin goes, "What the?" and now
that should break myself, so to speak.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'll be like, that was a warning shot there. Just to let you know, Sambalo's been taken. I'm now captain. So you're going to listen to my orders from now on. Do you understand? And I'll as I stand up and I'll drop the bow and draw the rapier and show them that it is Sambalo's rapier. You work for me now.
Okay.
I have a whole crew here. We've taken everybody else. You can either join our crew or you can become fish food instead of hell that Davy Jones Locker with you.
Sounds good.
And,
Would you like to move?
Move?
Yep, no kidding.
I'll move up to it.
Okay, there is not space to remain next to them because you will be moving into the illusion of Sambalat and into the square that Jornalyn is in, unless you want to squeeze. Do you squeeze up next to them?
I would like to squeeze up next to it.
All right.
Does not require my movement to be so much that I would be bonus accessing dash and stuff.
Correct. You are close enough. You do not need to do that. But I do need an acrobatics check from you.
That is something I'm good at.
Keegan look confused.
Keegan looks confused as no action because reactions are on your turn.
Everybody except Smithy looks confused. Because this is not what we agreed to.
Yep.
Wait, you guys are surprised? I don't know, what did you guys think he was gonna do? I'm telling you, he wanted their ship, like, over and over again. Like, it was every other sentence.
Every other sentence, yeah, I'm gonna be going
Yeah, he can get the ship. You follow the plan, we get the ship.
Nope, not this time. Smithy goes past this wall to go past Jorlin, and with a 9 acrobatics, you actually manage to avoid hitting Jorlin. So, even with the 9. But your shoulder and left arm passed through Sambalat as if he wasn't there.
I told him I'd kill him, and I showed him the rapier as proof.
Sure. Seems good. Caliban, it is your turn to do whatever you like. You can hear all of this.
I'm gonna just do the exact same thing I did last turn.
You sigh as a free action, and then
like, it was 2 guys, everything he did with 2 guys so much more complicated, they could continue to do it. I'll keep an eye out.
Yep, seems good. Mikor, it is your turn. As is in Ellie, by the way. In case your name rings a bell, you are muted, blah, blah, blah. Feel free to chat if your mic isn't working as to before. I will assume she holds the same action until otherwise noted. Jordan!
The timing's a little off, but I'm going to have Sambalay fall down like he was pushed. He's going to take essentially a 5-foot step back. Give me 1 second. One second.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm going to have the image of Sambalay like thrown to the floor. Jorlin is going to stay within a 15-foot radius.
To try to, and you're going to make like the casts or something seen in the wall so that Jordan just kind of out of that. Okay. I do want a deception check from you with disadvantage.
Yeah.
I would allow performance if you'd prefer that.
If I have performance, I'll give it to you. Deception. Guess what? It's the same thing.
Okay. Yeah, they're not buying it. His arm and shoulder went through, some blood then moves. It looks really good, but it like Smith went through first and then Sambalat reacted. It's just like blade.
So basically, I'm just kind of moving back a little bit, and I'll say to Keegan, Smitty is an asshole.
Fair. Okay.
I don't think you should be so rude to him. I wasn't rude to you guys when you had decided to go do something without a very
So he took a bump. So this hobgoblin that is now next to you, as you threaten him with this rapier, goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna kill you now." And let's see. Yeah. Let's see. No, we cannot. Okay. Yep. Longsword. Actually, hold up. They're surprised. So they don't actually act. But, you know, on their turn, you see them going for their weapons and otherwise readying their shields and stuff. Gah, it is your turn.
Gah, hearing this, he will move his movement down. What is it? 5. These are 5-foot blocks.
These are 5-foot blocks.
Oh, okay. 5, 10, 15, 20.
You can use the arrow.
Yeah. 30. I'm going to move 30 feet. Right about there, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. And as I'm moving, I still got my light crossbow up, but I'm gonna be hollering, "Lay down your arms in the name of God, the justice bringer, the law in the land."
So, great role play. I'm sure your mic is blasting it every time you say anything.
Oh,
so
okay. Let me tweak that then.
Yeah, you might be able to.
Yeah, but talk normally so we know what you're saying, and then start tweaking it because tweaking might take time.
Yeah. All God's coming on down. He's going to holler, "Lay down your arms in the name of God, the justice bringer." As far as that's the gist of it. And let me see about getting back in.
Roll intimidation with advantage.
Okay.
Actually, no, don't roll intimidation. Roll persuasion with advantage.
Okay. Let's see here. So let me find God. There's God. Hit there. Get the sheet. And persuasion, you said. And submit.
Okay.
A mighty 9.
Yeah. So those talking kind of quietly to themselves, so Calvin and Nikor probably don't hear this. But one of them says, "Wait, Gau's here? I recognize that name." The other one says, "Yeah, he's the trade sheriff of between Beaton and the forest, but these people are using illusions. He's probably not here."
You heard the sheriff. Yes, you got your
It is Keegan's turn. Unless Gal wants to do something with his bonus action, which I was assuming is stealth, maybe?
No, I wasn't going to do nothing with the bonus action. Okay. There's no need right now.
Okay. Keegan, it is your turn.
Oh, so the way the tokens are, they are just behind each other, so they're not standing next to each other. Like, they're in a narrow hallway, more or less.
Yeah, they're in a narrow hallway. One of them is kind of a bit cramped because they have to kind of be on the boat to have their full space. Whereas the other one has basically the hallway, but yeah, they're next to each other, quote unquote.
All right. I'm not gonna do any combat-based things, but what I'm gonna do, I'm going to cast Thaumaturgy and make the ground shake and walk towards them kind of slowly with my weapon out and say, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Just kind of glare at them while I'm walking towards them.
Okay.
Wait, I can just roll it into the. Let's see if it works out this time. Probably not.
You do this ground charm or anything? Are you sure you want to do this?
I would try to position myself in front of, like, in between Smithy and them.
So that only works if Smithy is willing for you to do that in this particular case.
Okay. I'll try to get past Smithy then.
Does Smithy allow Keegan between him and the hobgoblins?
Sure, as long as he's willing to let me hop underneath his arm too.
Yes. Yeah. That's Keegan uses the rest of his movement to swap places with Smithy. Yeah.
A -1 on your intimidation. You embolden them with your foul.
Yeah. Their response to that, as you say this and the tremors and all that, they say, "Dude, Sombele works for Prime Water. Are you betraying him?" Like, they get angry at you.
The patron to this mess.
He's the guy who sent you here.
Yeah.
Well, no, and Keegan respond.
Yes, Keegan can respond. Yes.
Well, I know Smithy as well, and I'm not having anybody. I'm having you kill innocent people. You have aggressed.
The hobgoblins kind of look at you like you're an idiot, and one of them says, "Smithy just said he killed Sanbalad and carries his rapier."
I show it up.
He is
as in the innocent, as in Smithy is the one who is not innocent here. We have not done anything. He has killed someone. Someone we work for.
That I also work for.
And you work for me.
Anyway, yeah.
Should I roll against that? Because he would probably I don't know.
You can roll whatever that you want. They can't. They're just responding to your talking, and your intimidation. I will have Drillin roll that insight on his turn. It is your turn. I guess I should. I apologize. Do you have a bonus action you wish to use here for Keegan?
No bonus action.
Okay. Alright, it is your turn. A lot of weird things are happening.
Yeah, no kidding. Kind of mutters to herself in probably Akron. And there's one guy, he's kind of stood just to the side of the boat, right? The guy furthest back.
Yeah, correct.
So the water that's kind of lapping around his feet starts to twist up one angle, and as it does this, she's going to move forward, kind of up behind him, and thrust the dagger to his back. What she's casting is Hunter's Mark.
I like that.
And the water kind of wraps up around his leg and then up around his body and is eventually up to his neck as she gets up and puts the dagger to his back.
Okay.
And says, I really don't want to have to do this. But if you attack my companions, you will remove no choice. And I guess I will hold, what's bonus action, right?
Yes.
And I guess I hold my action to drive the dagger home. Should he make a violent move towards me or my companion? Should he or his companion make a violent move towards me or my companion?
All totally fine. Worth noting, this is a female hobgoblin.
Alright. Should she or her companion make a...
That's what
I look at it with my iPad and having to zoom out.
Tiny little. Yes, exactly. Not important.
No, that's no fun. But make it, yes.
Okay. Smithy, it is your turn.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
Everybody's going around just making threats and taking names.
Could I reach up and try to stab one of them? Past Keegan.
Keegan is purposely placing themselves between you and them, so it'd be up to Keegan if he's willing to let you do that.
He'd be confused now, to be honest, so he wouldn't stand between them fighting. After, like, what they said made sense to him. So
Okay. Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's a perfectly reasonable response. You swap responses, and Smithy has a chance to attack the other one.
Alright, I'll go up and stab him and then try to attack. I know that may require
Disengage, yep.
yeah. Well, the swashbuckler, I don't have to disengage, but I could bonus action disengage.
Oh, true, yeah. Now, I do have a question, because this hobgoblin you're fighting does not have an ally of yours next to them, and you are next to an ally, or next to another creature besides the creature you're attacking. Do you get sneak attack in this circumstance?
I would like to try, but technically that would be like the one chance where I would not if I have two enemies and no allies.
You don't have two enemies next to you, but you have another creature next to you. I don't know if Keegan's an ally right now or not.
Oh, Keegan?
he's not particularly aligned to you at the moment.
As long as Keegan is not an enemy, then I would just sneak attack.
At the moment, he's not hostile.
Could you double check that rule? That's a totally fine ruling. We're going to keep going with that for the turn, but I double check that when you have a moment on somebody else's turn.
Okay.
Make your your attack.
I'll do the booming blade thing with my rapier.
Sounds good.
Where is it? Sorry, it's I'll just use rapier because I got my booming blade, so it's +2.
Seems good.
Public roll, submit, normal roll, submit. Oh! That's a hit. Does it have damage still?
That is a hit. So if you click on rapier, while that is the word rapier in chat, it will roll damage for you. Yeah, I would also recommend changing that setting, but I'll get to that in a moment.
Okay. I just close rapier, public roll, and it'll roll damage?
Yep. Or it should. Yeah.
Alright, and then plus 2d6.
You could do that manually, or if you have sneak attack, you can roll that instead.
Yeah, I'd like to go ahead and put it. Always have it on there, but I mean, my roll 20 thing is kind of.
Take a look at the chat, please.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't have sneak attack in this circumstance.
I do not. So
If you are no other creatures are within 5 feet of you. Basically, the panache that's involved with swashbuckling is you have to be in I can do all my cool maneuvers, and nobody is going to mess you up. So you can focus on the one person, but Keegan being near you kind of like stops you from doing like a jump to the side, just a fancy jump to the side stab. But 9 piercing isn't bad.
Alright, so ignore those d6.
Yep.
And he is sparkling, and then I will stand back behind Keegan again.
Ah, yes, booming blade.
Yes.
That's good.
So if he moves.
There's this kind of sparkle around him. You kind of stab him, and he kind of like jumps to the side, and you see it digs in, but not as good as you thought it would be, based on your previous fights. These.
You're in my way there, Elijah. I can't quite get all of my Now bow and kneel to the master, else I'll poke you again.
Right.
There you go. And that's my action. That's it. I'm done.
You wanted to move back, if I remember correctly. Do you still want to do that?
Yeah, just behind Keegan, not like far, but just far enough to where Keegan has to move if he wanted to strike me back.
Okay, sounds good. Caliban.
How much of this am I hearing? There's a decent amount of yelling.
You are hearing most of it. The only thing, because of the echoing chamber, anything said at a normal volume is heard. It was only when they were whispering to each other about God that they did not hear it. But everything else you've heard. Fighting, Keegan going, da, 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 the tremor you felt, and Smithy kind of,
I'm out.
right. Being a loudmouth, all that. I guess maybe you didn't hear Jordan whisper to Keegan, Smithy's an asshole. But you know that in your heart. Just like that text.
A lot of people over there.
Yeah, it's pretty congested.
Yes.
Guess I'll just do the same thing I did last turn. I'm sure Ara will let me know if they need help.
Fair enough. Nico, Ellie, is your mics or talking or anything going well for you?
Yeah, it's working.
Okay. You had your turn from last round. I assumed you held your action. To get you up to speed, there's some fighting that happened between Smithy and the Hobgoblins, but they're making a case that Smithy's actually the bad guy here to everybody around them, basically. And the party is in some kind of turmoil. You can't tell what, because something happened further down the tunnel. It instigated a conflict earlier than the plan asked for.
Ga, would you let me go by you?
You could probably step over me.
Yes. The distance is a bit tricky. You might not quite be able to get past him unless you dash.
Have impulse control, I'm sorry.
You don't have impulse control. But yes.
Okay.
Smidge.
Or we'll just come right here then.
Okay. Sounds good.
She'll hold this in action.
Holds in action. Listening.
She's gonna cast Bane as soon as she sees the hobgoblin.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, because at this point you're hearing a fight, so that particular condition is pretty much met. Alright. Cool. Jordan, it is your turn.
They talked about working for Prime Water, and you said,
oh, yes. So you rolled an insight. I just wanted you to wait until your turn, so that I can give you some information about the insight rather than just it flapping in the wind, as it were. So you were listening. You were trying to determine what with your insight.
if Prime Water is actually a bad guy, because if what they said was true, if they work for Prime Water, and we know that this is a smuggling operation,
right?
Then that would mean that Prime Water's in charge of the smuggling operation.
That doesn't sound like an insight check to me, though. Does that sound like an intelligence check to me? Unless you're trying to insight Prime Water from previous experiences.
Or whether they're lying or not.
Well, yeah, ultimately that's what insight is.
Yes, you could try to determine if they had lied about what they just said. Is that what you're looking? Okay, slightly different than is Prime Water a bad guy? Slightly different question. So with your 5 insight, Yeah, with that low of an insight, let me see what their charisma. They do a pretty good bad charisma too. But here's what I would say. I only bring this up because you're a very intellectual character, and so you may be considering something like this when you also consider the truth of their statements. Sambalay mentioned that he had brought his organization here to check on these sailors that went missing. There is some. Yes, he did not say who though.
That's correct.
Correct. There is some margin of space here where the people who went missing were the smugglers, and the people that Sambala brought were actually sent by Prime Water to find them.
Except for one thing. These guys said that the goods in the cove behind us were from before, quote unquote, from before.
Correct. That doesn't make them own it, though.
Makes them aware of it.
They did arrive here before you did. I mean, I bring this up because your insight is low enough to look at these people and you're like, aha, telling the truth. Wait, are these not the smugglers? You are thinking they might not be the smugglers.
Okay.
That doesn't necessarily mean, and actually, if that's the case, then all the chain makes. Sambala was hired by Prime Water to hire these mercenaries, which Dom mentioned. The hobgoblins were mercenaries based on tattoos to go out immediately. And they just returned, and literally when they saw Sambala, they said, we couldn't find them, they've been missing, etc.
They also talked about their goods.
They didn't claim they were theirs ever.
No. The goods on the missing sailors.
Oh, yes, their goods, yes. Correct.
But they couldn't find this either.
I'm not trying to convince you. Yeah. I'm not trying to convince you of anything other than your insight tells you there's a margin here.
Yeah.
Where you've just killed people who were working for Prime Water, and Prime Water's a fine guy. Like there's no criminal association.
Yeah, well, I just picked up on that. I'm going to tell them, you are surrounded. You need to give up before we kill you. And I will move my little ass behind Smitty.
Okay, so they noticed the goblin, or not the goblin. They noticed the gnome, and because you talk to them, yes, they will respond and they will say, "You killed some." They say in broken common, they say, "He killed Sambala. We were hired by him." No, is the answer to that.
Okay.
Statement.
I said what I said.
You said what you said. Actually, you know what? Roll intimidation. There's a fair intimidation here.
Several of us have a fear.
Yes, there's a very fair.
You know there's 4 people around.
I got 14.
Okay. They. Right.
I think you roll for it if you want to.
Well, no, I can set the DC based on what their passes are. It's fine. Yeah. One of them. Here's what I'll say. The one who was just attacked by Smithy goes, I don't know if we're gonna win this. And the other one says, sorry, this is in Goblin, so Ara and I think a number of other people would hear it, recognize it.
I speak Goblin, by the way.
Yes, I think their grandma speaks Goblin in this team, but they do speak Goblin, in case it matters. But the one who was just attacked said, that hurt. Like, I don't think we're getting out of this alive. And the other one says,
and I'm sparkling. Weird.
And says, if we don't do if we don't do what we were paid for, then what is our honor? I will say this: they seem conflicted, but so they want to fight to the death, but they also are scared of dying. Is the
Doesn't the female one have a dagger like on its back?
Yep, the one who has a dagger has like this water coming up its thing, and this person just like appeared out of the water with his dagger is like, maybe we fight to the death here.
Okay.
And then they just kind of know it. So this one who is the one who's a little more afraid, doesn't engage anybody, but says to Keegan, says, "You gotta trust us, man. These people, they're gonna kill us, and this isn't good. They're gonna kill us for no reason. We don't deserve this. Aren't you friends with Prime Water?" And that's all they do. I don't need to roll for that. You can just decide as a character, as a player.
The other one.
The other one hasn't said anything yet. They weren't being spoken to, so it's not their turn.
Oh, well, isn't it their turn now?
It will be their turn next, so if you want to wait, you can wait.
Oh.
Also, if you want me to roll for your sake, I can, but that's up to you.
What do you mean?
Well, some players like, well, roll me a persuasion check to see if you can convince my character to do something. I'm not convincing you of anything other than the words I just said, which was, hey, these people are just killed a friend of Prime Water's. Why are you working with them? But there's no roll here. I'm not going to force you to do anything based on a persuasion check they make.
He won't say anything at the moment.
Okay, that's fine.
That's fine. Go ahead. Just.
Yep, sounds good. The other hobgoblin, who Aura's at their back with this water coming up, turns and just swings, just draws weapon and swings at Aura.
So is Aura taking a reaction to stab her then?
Yep.
She will be.
It was a held action.
Yep. On ours, I don't know which order you want to resolve this.
You said if they were meant to make an aggressive action, not after they attack me. So, you first.
So, we're looking at 24 to hit for Aura.
Hit.
D4 plus a D6.
Ooh, I should have some silly music.
That is 11 points of piercing damage. And this is with Whip Taker, if that makes a difference.
It does.
I don't actually know what the dagger does.
I don't know.
But I mention it for your information.
Yep. Thank you. That's perfect. Yeah, we'll just do this. That's fine. All right. They didn't make their attack.
AC is 18.
Yes. 23 to hit them.
23 hits, yeah.
Okay. One-handed means that it does this. Okay. Plus that. Plus. Nope, that's it. Oh, yeah, okay. Double check. Yes. They deal you 9 points of slashing damage.
Wait, is that attack? So rude.
How rude. Yeah. You get a sense that they're kind of, probably the best thing to describe this is that they are kind of back to back and, the best way to describe this is is the Bonnie and Clyde effect, where you're like, we're two people against the world, they're taking confidence in each other's presence.
Full of holes is what they're gonna be.
Guh, it is your turn.
Alright. Gah! Let's see here. We'll move down to here, I think.
15. Yeah, if you dash, you can get down to any of these squares, pretty much.
Well, I'm not looking so much to dash.
Okay.
But
the biggest issue is that your allies are
yeah.
terrain.
Yeah.
So that's
you're going to have to
20,
dash.
30. You're going to have to dash, yeah, to get past Smithy.
All right. If I do dash, I'll take the full dash.
Okay. Place yourself as you wish.
Let's see here. I'll put myself about 5 feet from the hobgoblins.
Next to or 5 feet away?
5 feet away.
Yeah.
About right there. And I'll tell them, lay down your weapons all. This is Gah, the justice bringer, or else I will fire upon you. And he'll flex his shiny badge on up, and he'll say that all in Goblin.
And man, does that badge shining right now. Yeah, you say that all in Goblin. The one who is a little more scared kind of looks at you, looks back at their friend, and says, "This certainly seems like he's here." And the other one goes, "Wait, God is here?" And then kind of in the midst of, gets a slash off, and then turns to look the other direction. Like fighting on a boat. And goes, "Gosh, shit." Fine. We surrender. Their turn.
Yeah.
And I guess that's Gau's turn.
Yeah, Guy's last little bit of words would be smart move.
Yeah, seems good. Keegan, your turn.
So they just basically said they surrendered?
Yep. Out loud, this hobgoblin here who was attacking Ara says, yeah, fine. He basically says, back. We surrender.
Okay.
The look on his face is, damn, the cops are here.
Okay. So they are clearly adversaries against God, or at least his position.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Then he'll say, I'll not let them kill you. You will have time to explain. And then he'll say, Ara, move. And then he'll hold a sleep spell until Ara moves out of the way.
Sounds good.
Turn it on them.
Seems good. Ara, it is your turn. You've been engaged on, injured for the first time, and then finally surrender.
And told to move.
Yeah. And actually, I just realized something. There is something that did change about that. That just actually messes things a bit. I'll just ignore it for now. I'll pretend that it doesn't exist. I'm the GM. Anyway, alright, it's your turn.
So it was Keegan that told Ara to move, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And Ara
And you can see Keegan starts to cast a spell.
Right, and Ara's known Keegan for all of 5 minutes, right?
A minute or two, yeah.
Sure.
Not even 5.
For sure. She'll look at Gar and say, if they've surrendered, do I have to stop stabbing him even though he stabbed me?
Yes!
But he stabbed me.
He'll get his justice.
This is a for God talk because that's who Ara talked to.
Yeah, but it was all he'll just very quick keeping it down, not to get belabored. He's just going to say yes, and they'll get their, and the other response being they'll get their justice.
Where do you want to kill this dude? Ara will retreat back into the water and disappear under the water.
Okay. Disengage.
Keegan will. Nope, she doesn't disengage.
Okay, they don't attack you.
Great. She very purposely didn't disengage because if they attacked her when she walked away, she was going to turn around and beat the crap out of them. So I guess what she will do with her action is spend a key point to use healing hands to heal herself.
Seems good. That triggers Keegan's action before the healing hands technically, but whatever. You cast sleep. One of the hobgoblins kind of rubs their eyes. The other one goes, "Was I supposed to do something?"
Terribly sleep though.
Not a good roll. Doesn't he have 19?
19's below average, yes, but
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's not uncommon for me.
what all of them says. Actually, this was a ready action, so I'll they don't say anything else. Smithy, they have declared they have surrendered. That by pirate law means the boat is yours, specifically the rowboat, but it is yours.
Arr, lassies, you made a good decision there, you scabbard sea dogs, and if you had the gumption of a weevil on a biscuit, it may have been yours. But you'll be faithful hands to the mast, that I'd be sure. And you'll be well rewarded for your intellect. Smart as paint you are, and you can lay to that. Yeah, I'm not a guy, I'm good. Putting my rapier up. I'll walk over, maybe pick up my bow that I dropped.
You go pick it up.
Wouldn't you be a good lassie and go over there and find that arrow that I shot at you? I'd much appreciate it.
Sure. Seems good. Make me a perception check, Smithy. It's Caliban's turn, by the way, after that. Okay.
Perception. There it is. Perception. And then I gotta minimize the character sheet again. It's a public roll, yes. Normal roll, yes. Not bad.
Okay. You say this, and then you look over, and you realize that it hasn't gone very far because it kind of hit the shield and broke, and then kind of its pieces hit the side of the boat.
Oh. Never mind. Just let the plot come alive. Down the night arrows.
Kill him then.
Are we still on initiative?
They haven't had a chance to drop their weapons yet, so yes. I'm going to wait until the end of this round before dropping out of initiative.
I would do the same thing. The thing I'm going to do is weird in initiative, so I won't bother. We'll just wait.
Okay. Nikor, Ellie, it is your turn.
Okay, so
Wait, when they said they give up, did they say that in common or in goblin?
They said that in common.
Okay.
It is broken common.
So is Nikor hearing all of this in detail?
Yes, pretty much. Even the goblin part you probably heard because you were close enough.
Okay. Guess I'll come to here.
Oh shit, there's another.
He can go up. Oh, yeah.
More people just keep popping out of this hallway for those hobgoblins.
Yeah, they're like, so many people. We are really fucked. We are so under arrest. What does Nikor do?
Yeah, so Nikor comes up and just kind of glares at them, and she's looking for Aura, who she can't see, right? Aura, you're under the water.
Yeah.
Okay, and she's gonna hold vicious mockery if they seem to aggress against us or change.
So you get that witticism ready, I'm sure. Jordan.
I think we should bring them back here into the treasure room. That'll give us a little bit more space if we can question them there. And Jordan's going to retreat up to here.
Okay. Sounds
Nikor looks at Jorlin like, that was the fucking plan.
Talk to Smitty about
it. Yeah.
It would work too.
Well, the outcome's the same, so what matter does it here?
What matters is that you're not a team player.
Yep. Okay. So this hobgoblin here. Keep it and just kind of throw it off to the side. And kind of unstraps the shield. That's their actions for the turn and object interactions. And they will move to follow people. But I'll assume that will happen. But they start moving already.
If we can take ourselves out of combat.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that Gaw and Keegan don't do anything different. No, by the way, the hobgoblin does the same thing. Shield, sword, drop to the side, whatever.
Keegan's non-style.
Okay. Gaw?
Gaw will say, "Get in front of me. This is, God the Justice Bringer. We're going to take you up to a good place to hold you for the time being, and your answers may be what your life balances on there, pirate." And Gaw would go ahead and start getting them situated so we can escort them. Gaw will be behind them, and them in front of him.
Okay. Yes.
Listening to all that, Nikor, leading them up there, it's like, he's always this dramatic. Come on.
And this one here, the one who recognizes immediately says, "Yeah, I know." By the way, Gaw recognizes the one who says that as somebody who's traveled between Phaeton and the forest the goblins are from before.
Didn't I arrest your mother, or was it your father? Hard to tell between y'all, you small folk.
I don't get why you're bringing my mom into this. So, she's a nice lady, and you know it.
That could be. She didn't raise you. You don't. You didn't. She didn't raise you.
All right. So feel free to place yourselves. You're out of initiative. Arthur, you had mentioned that something was Caliban was doing. I want to know what it is because you've had the most time to do so. To the least time out of game and the most time in game to do so.
Yeah. So check it. Yeah, alright. Caliban will kind of, as people are gathering, kind of sticks his head around the corner so he can see most of the group. And so I would like to put forward the probably unpopular opinion. This may be an misunderstanding, and these may be relatively innocent individuals. I think it would behoove us to keep that in mind. if you are threat that Sambalad was some sort of evildoer, at least consider that he may not have been forthright with those who worked for him.
Smitty's in the boat?
Yeah, Smitty goes to the boat first thing and starts checking it for like secret compartments and stuff.
I heard what you said, that Sambala may not have told them the truth, and that is definitely a good point.
And one of the hobgoblins of this one will say, I mean, seriously, we were just hired by him. Like, we are mercenaries by trade. God would know.
I'm going to take a look to make sure that you don't have any hidden weapons on you.
The person kind of looks at you, looks at the other hobgoblin. The other hobgoblin puts their hands up for you to check, and so the first one does the same.
So ultimately, what I'm really looking for is that communication stone.
You don't find the communication stone. No matter how good you roll. But feel free to roll investigation check for other things.
Investigation. Boom! Oh, that's a 10.
It's average. It's fine. You find that they have longbows on them and arrows on them still, technically.
Yep.
So we can take that from them.
Take those.
They don't carry knives, or they don't carry daggers on them. You see the tattoos. You don't know what they mean. The chainmail that they are wearing seems to have been made by maybe a bit higher craftsmanship than maybe some armor from the other people, or the other hobgoblins. And you recognize the maker's mark on them for being the smith's maker's mark in Salt. Pretty regular, not hiding things, people.
One more question before do they have a cloak to where I can see if they have hidden compartments?
They do not have a cloak.
Okay.
You have not taken their armor off them, so maybe there's something there, but they don't have cloaks.
Okay. Yeah, it's enough to know.
Okay. Would anyone else like to do anything? Gaw, Keegan, Nikor?
Well,
by the way,
Keegan
you are checking the boat. I will tell you what you see as you take your time, but because you are, go ahead and roll investigation a second time. So you have advantage.
Guy is just making sure that the prisoners are there, and whatever the party's going to ask, he's just putting down cover and to protect them, and making it seem as legal and just as he can.
Yeah.
First time I went back, please. Went back to watch.
Oh, okay. You had mentioned that you went over to the group and tell them that. So that's
Yeah, but the reason why I didn't do it in initiative is because it would be like, it's hard to do the movie talk dash back and then also ready to.
Sure. It's fine. Yeah, not a big deal. Just real quick, Ryan, does Ara stay there? I think maybe Ryan was being. Never mind.
Yeah, no, she doesn't necessarily stay in that exact space, but she is swimming around under the water.
Seems reasonable. One thing that Ara does notice swimming around under the water is that the storm / high tides has made tying down the ship probably a good idea, which they haven't quite done yet. And first of all, and second of all, you don't think it's going to get too bad, but it might be a storm worth not being near the water for.
For her or for people in general?
You think it'd be more for other people? There's very little risk of you like getting hit by lightning or something else, but it's going to get dark. It's going to get very wavy. It could possibly push you or others some notable distances without much issue, etc., etc.
Which, if you can't breathe underwater, is going to be a problem. Got it.
Yep. It could push you against rocks, for example. It could like hit you against a rock, but it's a lot less likely if you dive down and away.
Yeah, which is probably what she would do in that situation.
Yeah.
She will kind of poke her head up and call for the. This is the storm's going to get pretty bad, based on the water currents and that kind of thing. Might be worth tying that boat down.
I agree there. I can feel it in me bones. I told you I was once struck by lightning out on a storm like this. I don't want it to happen again. I'll drag the boat even further up to make sure it's safe and secure. Oh yeah, I'm gonna make sure that baby is as safe and secure as possible.
Love it.
Done. I guess given the information that she now has about the storm, she will go and talk to the others. And kind of let them know, hey, we may want to take this upstairs, as far away from the water as we can get.
Keegan will actually address Daw. He would say, did you help them kill these people without a fair trial?
Fair trial? I'm not a judge. I'm just a justice bringer. You go ahead and start attacking. You get what you call for and ask. Here to.
Get this point?
Yep.
So they
so pause here for a second. Jordan has said it was investigating them. Gon, Keegan were talking, but Nikor can jump in. Okay. Yeah.
Nikor.
Okay, so what was the last thing said?
Keegan basically said, "Did you give fair trial to these other people you had killed?"
And then he said he said they attacked, and now Keegan's asking, did they attack first without any like warning?
Of course.
Like did they attack you on sight?
Of course.
So, listening to all of that, Nikor would just
Then let's go upstairs.
kind of like hold up her finger
He's
and
gonna
say,
follow the advice of.
Are you able to hear Ellie, Z person?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
You may want to increase their volume. I can hear.
Yeah, I can hear it too. So
yeah,
it's either a volume issue, which you can change on Discord if you right-click on a name, or you can disconnect and reconnect, which is the other solution.
Her volume is all the way up on me. I'll try to reconnect.
Yeah. What were you saying, Ellie?
yeah, so she would just be like kind of listening and like her eyes are going back and forth between the two, and then she would just hold up her finger and she just like look to Keegan and say, a point of clarity, no one killed Sambalay but Sambalay.
Point. He stabbed himself in the heart.
Hello, bad refrains from saying anything sarcastic to the rest of the group.
Yeah. Did you hear that,
Zach?
I think she said no.
Again, just in case he wants to respond. Sorry.
You want me to just repeat it?
Or yes, can you hear her now?
I can hear her now. Yeah.
Indeed. Yes.
Okay. So to Keegan, Nikor just holds up her finger and she says, just a point of clarity, the only person here that killed Sambalay was Sambalay.
How do you mean?
Was it a dagger or what type of blade?
It was a dagger.
Yeah. He inserted his own dagger into his heart.
So Smithy didn't even kill him.
Correct. Smithy was not even in the room.
I may have exaggerated.
He wasn't even conscious.
Yep.
Wasn't even there.
Like,
Well,
barely alive.
Yep.
the creature over there suggested that we not be down here, so.
I'm sorry, did you just call me a creature?
And God's going to turn and look at him with a dirty look. That's my daughter.
Are we not all creatures?
Her name is Arya.
My name is Ara.
Ara.
But in order to say all creatures, you're a creature, he's a creature.
I'm a goblin and I'm proud.
He's a creature.
Okay.
I said this creature.
Yeah.
No, but what we said, you're a creature, he's a creature. So I'm just wondering who you're indicating.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And God
So
saying,
you pointed at the two people here that are, yep, great.
Yep. And the hobgoblin. I want to put this in here. The female hobgoblin goes.
But he said we.
Yeah.
He said we've been playing himself, so.
Right. But the hobgoblin says, "My common ain't so good, but I heard that calling people creatures is rude."
and God's
I
gonna.
apologize. What are you? What would you like me to address you as?
My name, perhaps?
God say, I'm goblin. I'm proud. I'm from the clan Goober.
Oh,
I know who you are, God. Yeah. We need to get upstairs, like Ara, right? I suggested.
Right. That storm's going to come in bad, and while I don't think it's going to flood this far in, if the wind picks up the waves enough, anything's possible.
Yeah, we can move up to the bunk room.
So we should also look at securing down the hatches on the house.
The male hobgoblin says, yeah, the storm's pretty bad. We should bring the soak and ale up too, like up to here, because otherwise it's gonna, like, it could get soaked. It might be getting soaked now.
So, Jordan kind of turns around and he says, "When did you guys steal this, by the way?"
I didn't. We didn't steal it. Yep.
Keegan will just proceed upstairs and just kind of expect God to take the hobgoblins up, but he'll come down here and see if there's any more dead bodies laying around.
No, but there is something else there. I'll describe in a moment.
If they want to start moving smoke, I mean, that's fine.
They say, "Will you let us move it up here?"
Sure.
All right, yeah. They kind of nod to each other and they start moving. They are strong goblins. Strong hobgoblins.
That's hell of a help. It's probably more like holding doors so they can move.
How do I get this turn order off my screen?
Oh, you can, if you, is it like shrunken? There's an X in the upper right-hand corner.
Oh. I just shrank it and disappeared. I couldn't find the X. Anyway.
The X only exists for the DM.
Okay. I don't know if I got rid of it. Hopefully I did.
You did.
Yep. Yeah. So they start moving it. Like you can tell that they have experience moving cargo. And Smithy notices this. Anybody else who does notices. They just like chain gang it and get it up there real fast.
Not there.
And then they'll make their way. Are you heading into this, or do you want to go further up? Because this is a level or two higher because of the stairs. But it's up to you if you want to go higher than that. The rest of it.
We can go to the bunk room, I was thinking.
That's fine.
My suggestion is that they go back up into the house and take some time to actually secure the house. Kind of button down any hatches, secure any doors and windows. If this gets as bad as she thinks it's going to get, we don't particularly want this house to get run. I mean,
Would it be possible for me to drag the boat even farther up that narrow passage?
You could try. Make an athletics check.
Can I get the? Oh, I am like expertise in it, but hey, one of you hobgoblins. You seem to be pretty good. Come over here and give me a hand. Want to make sure this boat stays well secure in this storm.
They kind of look at each other and they both grab it, and they actually drag it kind of in, like it scrapes the side, and you can actually see there's a little bit of scrapes there from before, like they may have done this once or twice in the past. And whoever brought the boat up, I should say, may have done this once or twice in the past. And then they tie a rope to the boat and to like a really high up piece of stone. And it says, if it fills up further than this, the house is flooded. And follow you, the rest of you.
All right. Guy will just make sure, keep an eye on his prisoners and make sure that they're where they're supposed to be and being controlled. And
you definitely seem like the only person who's keeping a close eye on them, except maybe Caliban or anybody else who wants to fight up. But
Caliban, there.
Yeah, but they're not doing anything suspicious as far as you can tell with your passive perception, I should say.
And
if you want to actually roll, go for it. I'll allow it.
No, I'm just gonna because he wouldn't. He's watching, but he's also working with his mind, trying to admonish the female hobgoblin that how much shame she's brought upon her mother by working with these less than honorable creatures.
The crowd keeps going on that. After a couple of minutes, Caliban's like, Doc, could you leave it alone? You're feeding the dead horse.
I've got a question.
Sorry, I want to go ahead. Yeah.
I'm sorry, did I cut somebody off?
You did.
I was gonna give information to Keegan, but go ahead.
Okay, you go ahead.
Okay. Keegan, exploring this area, seems to note that there is some what looks to be like extra ropes, extra wooden nails, some extra hay. It looks like it's a relatively small amount, and it looks like it's just kind of piled off to the corner, like it's not that important. But it would be like for repairs or whatever. When you look over in this direction, you notice that this area is a notably lower elevation than the other area, and that hay has been kind of put down here, has been kind of soaked a bit, as if like they kind of know that this area is a bit low. And it's definitely uneven, kind of lumpy, as it were, on the ground itself. Yeah.
He'll take the rope and he'll pass through here. I guess
it's an extra 100 feet of rope.
Okay. And there's nothing else of interest in that area?
Nails, wood, canvas to repair sails. Yeah. Hay. Up to you.
Probably not anything I need.
Okay.
Just take the rope.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Where were the dead bodies?
Hold up. Did you say you passed through here?
Yeah, I passed through there.
Okay.
That's where I was wondering if there was anything extra, like in here.
Yep, we'll get to that in a moment. Yeah. Let's see how far we're going to check that out. Okay, so Gaw, Caliban, the Hobgoblins, and Smithy are still down here when something happens. So just keep an eye on them. They're supporting stuff. Caliban's helping, and Smithy was probably making his way out at this point. They'd already pulled the boat up, but you're maybe like here, and the rest of you are just kind of up here, generally. Okay. So you start walking through there, and as you do so, there's this sound and feeling as two piles of slime fall from the ceiling onto you.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, crud.
Like a gelatinous cube or just like a...
Say it again.
What am I restricted by this at all, or what?
I will describe to you what I know once I get there. But yeah, this like goopy green slime kind of falls onto you.
Ooh, green.
I would like initiative to be read by everybody. So let me open up the initiative tracker just in case people are trying to get in. Still.
We need to reroll the initiative.
This is a completely different fight for completely different reasons. So I think yes.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah. I know you guys want to get to the role play. I understand, but somebody decided to walk through an unexplored tunnel. I blame you for instigating plot. How dare you?
Oh, it didn't send it to the thing. Oh, it's 13 now, so... Low again, as always. It was not expecting
Yes. I actually don't even know.
Only with advantage, I would roll the...
I know something's happening. I want you to roll initiative just while I look stuff up because I have to look stuff up. Otherwise, this would literally have been the entire time just looking something up. Did not see that page. I'd be a little sad. Alright, because that's a little more helpful.
No, not everybody else got. Okay, Ara hasn't re-rolled yet. Smithy?
Technical issues.
For Smithy and Ara?
Well, our rolled over. You see it in the chat over there.
Yeah. 19.
Yeah.
Cool. I like it.
Some drop down.
Okay. Yep. Initiative. Okay. They got 11 and 12.
Oh, I actually do them before something?
The Hobgoblins, yes.
Probably not dead already.
It seems unlikely, but maybe.
It'd be dead if we weren't excused.
You're dead. Yes, I kill you. You're dead. Get that up there.
Nobody needs your dark vision. Get the hell out.
Get that out. Exactly. I got 16. I got 9 from Drone. I got a 15 from Gigan. I got an 18 from Equine.
Ara has a 19.
19 18 from Ara, 19 from. Yep. Ooh, I need a roll from Smitty. Initiative from Smitty. And that everybody gets to go. And I'll start with that.
Ah.
What I'm going to do is this. Okay. These some good rolls too. Jump this. Whoa, that's some good rolls from them too. Okay. So, and just for a point of clarification, Keegan's HP is actually 23, right?
Yes.
Okay. Keegan takes 29 points of acid damage.
Jesus Christ.
It is now and you all hear Keegan go, ah! And it's all gotcha. And the screaming is cut short, as it were.
Oh, man.
It sounds real bad.
Yep, dead. Yes, sorry. Aura will move and dash back the way they came into. Her movement speed is 40 feet.
So you can get so without dashing, you can get. Let's see, here. Nope. Sorry, stairs. Here.
If I jump from the top of the stairs down, does that make a difference?
You can roll athletics or acrobatics to get down the stairs if you'd like. Yes.
And she has slow, so taking damage.
Correct.
I'm not concerned about taking that amount of damage.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you can make athletics checks so you can get down without difficult terrain effectively. Correct. Or acrobatics.
Alright, if it's acrobatics, it's 19. If it's athletics, it's absolutely fucking hideous.
Okay.
Minus 2 strength.
Alright. I gave you either, so you get either. With your 80 feet of movement, so 25, you can get next to Keegan if you'd like.
Just covered in slime.
Yep. Big groups of green slime on him, and you see that his armor is being burned away, his clothes are being burned away, and his flesh is being burned away from this green goop.
Alright.
Yeah.
It's a fucking... Jesus. Were there empty barrels around here somewhere?
Empty? No, but there was some that were filled with like deer, but they're pretty far away. They're like over here.
Didn't we move them?
Yes, they're over.
Didn't they move them?
They moved them over here.
We were starting to move stuff. Like, this is like, I don't know, 20 seconds into this.
As a point of clarification, there was some down here. They moved them up here because the storeroom.
Okay. I got it. Thank you.
No problem.
Alright, so what she was gonna do is you said it's gonna take me a dash action to get there though, right?
Yes. Did you want to use a key point to get there?
So yeah, I will use key point to bonus action dash.
That's fine.
And then I'm gonna use my action.
And you can if you want.
Fine, good. Fine. You've been excellent for this. I'm gonna use my action to use my racial spellcasting. And she makes it rain. Water falls as rain in a 30-foot cube, kind of directly over him. We're looking at 20 gallons of water falling as rain.
That's pretty good.
It's enough to extinguish exposed flames, because when she casts this as a racial feature, it's cast at 2nd level. So it's a 2nd level spell for her. Whether it'll, how much it's going to help, I don't know. But it's all I've got touching that.
Here's what I'm going to say. You do this, and a large portion of the goop that was on top of Keegan gets washed off. But that goop gets pushed off kind of to the side, basically. It follows the curve of the room, so this water kind of goes toward a puddle, and so good. There's still goop on Keegan's. It seems like it's pretty waterproof. Probably like the room it's in implies something like that. But this pool has a lot of this green goo kind of pushed off of Keegan. So
yeah, that's why I wanted a barrel was
solid if I mostly success. Yeah.
Great. That is my action bonus action and movement.
And I will mark where the green goo is for the sake of future people.
Yeah, it would help if we know where it is actually.
Well, actually, it's yeah, I'll put it here. That's fine. All right. Next to act is Nikor.
Just to check, I'm really confused. I thought you said there were 2 goons.
You just saw Ara run off after a blood-curdling scream from below in Keegan's voice. It's
yeah, so Nikor like waits a second and then just calls down, "Everything alright down there?"
No, says the corpse. You were saying are there 2 piles of goo, Arthur? Yes, because as I mentioned, there's still some goo on Keegan.
Well, I thought you said, so at the start of it, when we rolled initiative, I thought you said 2 things dropped from the ceiling onto the 2 of you.
Onto Keegan. Both of them dropped onto Keegan.
Oh, okay.
He was swamped with.
Everybody else is blaming. And Smithy wants to happen.
Can I respond to Nicole? Like, she said she cooled down. I don't know
Yeah. Anybody who heard her can respond, which is fine. I'm
great.
Anybody hearing it.
Ara will call back up. Yes, that's what the screaming was all about. It's just people scream for fun these days. Also, if anybody knows anything about green goo that burns through metal, now would be a great time to give that information up.
So Nikor comes around the corner and looks at Ara and rolls her eyes, and then would prestidigitation do anything to get this? Because it says I continue storing an object 1 cubic.
Keegan isn't 1 cubic. As a point of clarification, you could do that. You'd have to do 1 cubic foot at a time of Keegan, which he might be dead by that point.
He's already dead.
I mean, he might be dead as opposed to unconscious. What is wrong? Or sorry, the last part again?
Coming around the corner, seeing Keegan. What does he look like? Because you said there was goo, but a portion of it was off.
Yes. So there's a mound of goo with a Keegan inside of it that had everything on them dissolving. Aura dumped a whole bunch of water, which meant the mound of goo went off to one side, but there's still goo stuck to Keegan. And that's all of Keegan. All of Keegan, yeah.
Oh, so the slime is away.
The most of it is away, yeah. You would say.
Alright, well I don't really have anything else to do, so I'm just gonna press the litigation and let it.
Okay, fair enough. I'll give advantage to something that has to do with that in the future. If it happens. Smitty, you were here. People heard the Barbarian scream. You're like, what the? very confused. And it is your turn. At first you were like hobgoblins, then you turn and see Keegan is like dying under the
like melting.
Yeah.
Even know anything about this? Yeah. My exploits upon the sea. Have I ever seen any such?
That's an interesting question. Roll a nature check.
Keegan has no idea what this is. He's dead.
Fair. Fair argument.
It's like more like, what the fuck?
Whatever that is.
That is actually high enough to know what this is. Luckily, this is not sentient. It doesn't, you know, it isn't thinking. But it is it has a kind of simple, almost plant-like intelligence. That if something is near it, it will fall onto it. It'll just kind of onto it. And is very acidic. It burns through flesh, metal, wood. Magical things aren't damaged by it. Sunlight, things that remove diseases, and things that deal cold, fire, or radiant damage can get rid of it. Otherwise, whatever you use to scrape off the goo from the creature will almost certainly be destroyed due to the acidic nature.
Wow.
So very dangerous, but not a monster in the classic sense.
I would like to yell that information. Our caustic, beware if there's it out and scan the ceiling to see if there's any more.
This definitely looks like the kind of place that it would grow, but you don't notice anymore.
And it's like, yeah, fire! And I'll pop Jorlin, I'll toss Ara a candle since that's all I got.
Alright. I will say that it is your action to recall this about it and let everybody know. And you can draw your candle out of your bag for the rest of your turn.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Sounds good. Gah, it is your turn.
Gah will say, "Oh my goodness. What's going on now? You two! Over here! What booby traps have you laid out here, you and your Rotley crew? Come on, show me!" And he's going to take the two hobgoblins and move them forward just at normal pace. So
okay.
Right.
So you move, and you are like waiting for them to move with you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah. Yeah. And they kind of look at each other like, oh shit. But they do follow you on their turn. So yeah, we'll just do that now.
Yeah.
For the sake of posterity. Caliban, your turn.
I think I'm too far away to do anything.
It might be.
Really, I don't know what to do. Useful.
Why didn't you catch you?
Harder than 2 plus so far.
I'll just move and dash in the direction of the yelling. I'll go here so I'm out of God's way, but that's my turn.
Okay, sounds good. Keegan, I have unfortunate news. I would like you to roll me 4d10.
Isn't he already dying? Does it just fail the death save?
Nope. This is for something else.
Oh, okay.
Not taking enough damage to die. How do I roll inside of?
Oh, sorry. There's a little dice roller in the upper left-hand corner, or you can just type/roll.
20.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now roll me. Let's see. Roll me 1d4. Let me say 1d4.
1d12, you said?
1d4.
Okay. Roll me a new character.
Roll me a new. Okay. 1 sec.
Health points 23. Look at that.
I guess it is your turn, so go ahead and roll a death saving throw.
Failed.
Alright. Roll d20, please.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
He gets a reprieve. Ooh,
Oh,
sweet.
wow. Okay. So, and that happens at the start of your turn. Does this happen at the start of your turn? Hold up.
I believe it's at
Yeah.
I think it's at the end of his turn.
You ruin the PHPs, you roll death saves at the start of your turn, and if you roll a d20, you get 1 hit point and get to take your turn as a normal.
I was talking about something else. You regain 1 HP. You then immediately take acid damage, dropping you back to 0. And I will say, because of your awesome recovery, as you're like about to get up, you only lose 1 object. We will say it's your armor is completely destroyed.
Oh,
Okay.
are you sure you're gonna want to knock him down because he rolled a 20?
Yes, because he takes acid damage at the start of his turn.
But you can take acid damage first.
Yeah, start of turn effects are decided by the player or the actor in initiative if it's a monster on the GM side.
Yeah, well, you've got 2 things both acting at the start of the turn, you decide which
Okay,
order.
fair enough. I guess it's your choice. Would you like to take a failed death save and stand up at 1?
Yes.
Or would you like to not take a failed death save and be unconscious?
Take the failed death save and then stand up.
Okay. That's
By resetting your failed
fine. Sure. Your spear is also destroyed.
Okay.
It is your turn.
Yeah.
You are prone and in terrible pain. Your survival instincts kick in as you hear a voice from a man who's like, stand up.
Also, I can't cast any magic because my holy symbol is on the spear, so he would try to stand up, I guess.
Okay. You do so with half your movement. Anything else you'd like to do?
Run into a fire! Fire or cold will kill it.
Well, I'm already covered in it, right?
Yes.
I'm already taking damage from it, so I'll try to wipe some off, I guess. I'm already taking damage from it, so...
That seems fine. Is there any weapon or tool you would like to scrape it off with, or are you just using your hands?
Let me see if I have anything.
Your shield.
Having a lot of wet straw on the ground.
It had wet straw, yes.
You got
Rubbed in.
your shield.
You try.
Maybe it's cold.
Maybe.
Here,
I feel cold. Does that count?
If we can get you to the water, this waves will probably wash it out given how powerful this storm is.
Yeah, you don't know that there's something there.
Can probably stop you drowning.
all these choices that Keegan has as he looks around at these people he doesn't know in the circumstance that he's in terrible pain.
Yeah.
I will say this because there is one person you might know that may be worth considering here. Jorlin, you know, is an apprentice to a wizard in town. Maybe there's something there.
It's gonna hurt though.
It might. It is up to you what you'd like to do.
You probably if they're gonna let me go by with them without, me touching them, because obviously they have this shit on me, he'll use whatever he has left, action, movement, to try to find Jorlin. Just call out, Jorlin.
Okay. Make me an acrobatics or an athletics check, your choice.
Probably athletics. I'm better at that. Let's find out. Well, yeah. Athletics would be better, and +3 in it. Doesn't matter, still probably roll 2.
Yeah, how do you know? Ah! So you book it. You almost leap over both Nikor and Smithy because you're trying to avoid them, and you just kind of like hit the wall and jump, and you start jumping up these stairs. So you make incredible distance. You see Jorlin here, and that's when the acid burns you enough to drop you unconscious again. But that will be on your turn.
You just pooped up.
You're like,
Wait.
Just like slamming for that.
Why is he going that way? Is the water not the other way? Am I confused?
I thought he took the acid damage first. And then he recovered.
Hold up. Calm down, Phil. It is at this point that Keegan will fall unconscious due to acid damage.
Okay.
Because it will be the start of his next turn when it happens.
Okay.
Yeah. Hobgoblins go, they see Keegan run off that way, and they hand Gaw. They don't have anything to hand him. They say, do you have a piece of wood? But they will do what Gaw asks. That's what they spend their actions there. Jorlin, if it is your turn, you can see Keegan is there, and he like collapses at the top of the stairs.
Jorlin.
Right.
I'm going to scream out that this new guy is going to need healing quickly. I'm going to cast my Flaming Sphere spell.
Yep. Now, if I remember correctly how Flaming Sphere works, you cast it as an action, and then as a bonus action, you can ram it into somebody for fire damage.
Yes.
So, unless Keegan decides to dodge this, which I'm assuming he doesn't, then the acid is off of you, but you take 7 points of fire damage.
What are you doing?
Like, ah! Exactly. I mean, yeah, I guess you were unconscious when Smithy yelled that. Fair.
Would you get my fire token on the board? Because I'm going to keep it up for a few minutes.
Yep. Totally fine. I'm looking back. And then, yeah. I guess here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just make it this easy on myself. Keegan rolled death saving throw. Everybody else, is anybody going to heal him?
I mean, I would. I'm not opposed to the idea.
Thanks for rolling that 20.
We'll get there.
Oh my God!
I mean, if Ara gets there before she stands back up, I guess she will. I mean, she will anyway. I don't know why I said I guess she will. Yeah. Even if he's conscious.
Yep.
She says, it's funnier, I think, if he is conscious. Because she says, this is going to look like it's going to hurt, but it won't. And then she swings her foot into his gut and hits him.
Yep. That's all the rest here. There's this flaming sphere that hits him. John, you can, and that's, I guess, all you can do here. Aura scans Keegan back up for 5 points of HP, which is essentially like a jolt to your system. You get hit and you're like, you start breathing again. And you are now out of initiative. Assuming Jorlin doesn't leave the fireball there, or if he does, Keegan. Okay, got it. No problem. Out of initiative, Jorlin burns the green slime, and everything is back to the way it was, except, I have no armor. And you have no armor. That's true.
And I'm pretty burned, probably.
Yeah. Burn, acid burn and burn.
Oh, okay. Damn it. Well, at least I have. At least it didn't kill me immediately.
Yep. I believe it is 8 o'clock, which is the scheduled time that I said we'd be done. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Do people want to spend another 30 minutes? Actually, here's what I'll say. in the next, I'm going to give you guys experience and inspiration for today's session. Good job, everybody. And I will ask you guys what you want to be ready to do next session, so you can just jump to that point. Everybody okay with that?
Alright.
We'll start at the bottom of Discord, not the bottom of people with GM lights. With Z person, with Keegan. What is Keegan doing?
As far as like next session?
Yeah, just tell me what. Keegan's been hurt real bad. These hobgoblins need to be interrogated, and you know there's something going on. What is Keegan doing?
He's probably going to be busy with next existential crisis. Once he gets over that, he was going to look at the dead bodies.
Okay, so that is what you will be doing at the start of the next session. I'll save it for my notes later. Next is Phil. What is Drillin doing next session? Generally.
Ultimately, I'm going to be a good part of this interrogation, because there's a few things that don't line up, and I want to try and get them to line up.
Nice. I like it. All right. E4, Ellie. What is she doing next session?
I think I'd probably just be pretty involved in the interrogation.
All right. Interrogation group. I'll just put you over here. I don't know, you'll put them in the end, but we'll put them there for now. All right. Arthur, Caliban. What is he doing?
Caliban will make sure he's nearby for the interrogation. I don't think he'll actively participate, except if it's needed to try to keep things more civil.
Sounds good.
So there'll probably be more watching his party than the orcs, so hopefully he can prevent people from getting murdered if there's no good reason for them to get murdered.
Arbitrator. Excellent. Charles.
At least for thinking about it, at this situation, it's a little bit grave. It doesn't look super great for them.
Fair. Charles.
Ga would be demanding these two hobgoblins and goblin tell them where the booby traps are, because he, in his mind, he views this as a booby trap, and even though it got Caliban, which is kind of newish to our social net, I guess you'd say, or party net, it could have been one of us. That is how God looks at it, and so he's doing that vet of interrogation right at the moment.
Yeah, and that I would normally put that off for next session, but considering the answer is relatively short, I'm just going to give it to you now.
Okay.
The answer is this. We don't know of any other booby traps, but we do know that that door is dangerous, and they point at the door that has the wooden blockade that says danger on it.
Yeah.
And that there are dangerous animals elsewhere in the building, so you should avoid going anywhere if you don't want to be attacked, other than here and the first floor. And like parts of the first floor that we didn't say.
So Guy feels he's done what he should be doing with his prisoners.
Yeah. I will give you an insight check if you wish for it, but they're telling the truth. Michael, what is Smithy doing next session?
I suppose just making sure everything about the boat is secure and searched well, like, you know, and
go ahead and put on your character sheet for Smithy 2 long swords and 2 shields, because they dropped them there, so you can pick them up. I will also tell you, based on your investigation check, although it does bring you into the interrogation scene a little later because of your attempts, that there doesn't seem to be any secret compartments on it. the only thing of interest about this, besides the fact that it is well made, and has a maker's mark implying that it was made in Saltmarsh, that it also is well used. There's scrape marks on the side showing that it's been pulled up sometimes. The oar handles having been rubbed down a bit from heavy rowing.
I'm torn between watching the sea to see if anybody else comes and check. It's dark and stormy and rainy, right?
You would have a very difficult time seeing much of anything, even with dark vision.
I don't have dark vision. I'm human. It's dark, stormy, rainy. I'd go up to the interrogation. But I'd arrive late.
So you'll be late to it, but we're keeping you there. But that's what you're doing at the beginning of the next session. Ryan, what is Ara doing?
I suspect that Ara gets bored very quickly with the interrogation.
Sure.
I'm trying to decide whether she goes to explore the second floor, first floor, whatever you want to call it, or go swimming. I think she probably kind of ventures up the stairs.
Okay. So you
have a look around
here for now. Maybe you'll find something, maybe you won't, but we'll save that for next session. Okay. There we go. Thank everybody for playing. Yeah, that was. I was expecting an interrogation this session, and man, that green goo just reared its ugly head, didn't it? Okay. So normally I would have said this is a regular session, but considering you activated green goo also, I'll tell you what. All of you can get 2 inspiration for role playing with the NPCs, the hobgoblins, all well and good there. And all of you get 1 experience except Keegan, who gets 2. I'm going to be generous to you, Mr. Low Level character who almost died on the first session. So there you go. There's your benefit for almost dying. And crit 20 twice on your death saves. Never.
all my rolls went to my death save.
All your rolls into your death saves. I will say this real quick. As kind of a little final piece here. Keegan heard a voice when he first dropped to stand up. And it repeated again. Like, it was unclear who was saying that at first, but it repeated it again when you dropped the second time. And you realize you've heard the voice before a while back. You feel like there's something important about that voice, but you're not sure. You're not sure who. You know it's no one here.
Yeah.
Right.
So I've lost my symbol. Let me ask you this: do my eyes still glow?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it still nighttime as well?
It is nighttime. For the sake of everybody else as well, it is raining heavily now, which affects perception quite a bit. And it is definitely dark. It is like 8 p.m. plus.
Okay. Well, I was just clarifying because, as I said, it was just at nighttime, so that if it's not nighttime anymore, the glow would go away.
Right. Yep.
No.
You're correct. Alright. Hope you guys had fun. Sorry about the technical issues on a few parts here. If people want to try Zoom next time to see if those technical issues go away, we can. I will post an event and make a message about it, and we can talk about it then. But hopefully everybody had fun either way. So. Isaac. Yes, taking questions.
Not so much a question. I have enough experience points, plus the one, enough inspiration points, plus the one that you gave me to go up to 5th level.